Ayo, we're back. We're back. Whew. I tried to do like a quick change, like, in theater. Like in theater. When you're on stage, you gotta do those quick changes because, you're live, you're performing, you gotta go. I tried to be as quick as possible, but then I had to use the bathroom. So yeah, here we are. We're back. We're back. With more Our Lives Beginning and Always. Sorry, hold on, my hair is fucking bothering me. So, can I just talk about my hair real quick? So, if you've been here, you know that I got my hair cut, and it's really short. And it's supposed to look like a pixie cut, kind of. If you're on Twitter, then Gil side looked like Rihanna. Sorry, Rihanna. Her name is Rihanna, actually. That's how she pronounces it, and that's how I'm gonna pronounce it because that's her name. I'm not gonna fuck up her name like everybody else. Anyway, so my hairdresser, the way she did my hair, it fucking pissed me off because why did she cut this one side and didn't cut the other side? And it's like, oh, now I hate it, and now I want to shave it. I want to shave it, and like, I can't get my hair back to how she did it, so it's pissing me off. So now I look, I look fucking crazy. I look like a bird. I look like a bird with ruffled feathers. That's what I feel like I look like. And I can't fix it. I don't know how to fix it. So yeah, I'm stuck like this, and I don't have a flat iron or a hot comb, so I can't wash my hair and like get it looking okay. So yeah, fuck it, I guess. Fuck me. Okay, anyway, back to what's most important here. This game. So let's get it. We're gonna do errands. Let's do it. Let's run some errands. From the moment you woke up, you knew that today was going to be busier than usual. There was a list of errands that needed to be finished before the day was done. First up was visiting one of the biggest farmers markets in the area. It was only open 2 weekends a month during certain parts of the year. It was rare that you and your family were able to attend, so your mothers liked to make the most out of every minute of it. And you realized it was not just them feeling that way when you heard a whistle from your left side. Oh my god, this man. Wow, this is a swanky show. Vegetables have never seemed so highbrow. Seriously, they don't mess around with their products. Isn't it exciting? Liz crossed her arms. You could tell she was amused. We couldn't have picked a more perfect trip. It's been too long since we've had a true family outing. What is that supposed to mean? What was that supposed to mean, Elizabeth? Her teasing tone said more than she actually did. Your next-door neighbors had joined you this day, and that's what made it a true family outing. The three parents laughed approvingly. Out of the corner of your eye, you caught Cove looking at you sympathetically. Some things never change, and some jokes never died. You'd long accepted that. You were excited to check things out. You thought this trip might be fun. You shrugged, feeling indifferent. You felt uncomfortable. You were in a bad mood. This trip was a waste of your time. I'm feeling indifferent. I really don't want to be here, but I'm here. Might as well. There was so much ground to cover today. You wanted to get a move on. Well, I'm glad to get started. I've got plenty of dishes in mind I could use ingredients for. Of course you can. Of course you can, Clifford. Before your moms responded to that, they glanced at each other and smiled. Yes, that's a very good idea, Cliff. This place is much larger than it seems. It's difficult to visit each part in a single day. I'm sure we can make a decent dent together at least. Actually, since there are so many of us this time, we could take different sides of the market. Divide and conquer, eh? That sounds brilliant. Everyone watched your mom's surprise. No one had considered that an option, but your mom flashed the group a dazzling smile, continuing with the thought. Though, it's a little unfair that there are 4 Rigel family members and only 2 Holdens here, so I'll go ahead with you boys to even out the odds. That's fine with me. Cliff scratched the back of his neck awkwardly. He wasn't sure where to look or what to say. That was a problem his son had. That was not a problem his son had. I don't like that idea. Oh, okay. Don't worry, we'll be apart for only a few hours, and then we'll have something to look at the end of it. I mean, why didn't you just let me go with them? Since, they're my family, I guess, kind of. After the additional nudging, Cove nodded with a sigh. He realized this was an argument he was going to win. Alright, I don't get the point, but I also don't mind spending the first part of the trip with Princess and Ma. Ma clapped her hands together at that. Wonderful! Are teens ready to go? Hey, I didn't agree to anything. Yeah, let's go. Can I be the one who goes with the Holdens instead? I'm gonna say it. You looked from your mom to your ma, hopeful that you'd at least get to explore the market with Cove. He perked up at the suggestion, but then you saw Ma was pouting at your request to leave her group. No, mommy. Sorry, no can do this time, kiddo. Seeing that neither parent was budging, you slumped your shoulders. We won't be split up for too long, right? Ma hooked an arm around you and a little side hug. You grinned. Yes, thank you, princess. I'm sorry I upset you, mommy. I'm sorry. Taking the lead, Mom walked over towards Cove and Cliff, who were still eyeing her confusedly. Come on, boys, we're heading out. Ooh, are they gonna talk about marriage, maybe? Is this why is this why you're going with them? Maybe? Interesting. Sure. Okay. Cove looked at you softly and found himself pulled forward, stopping in front of you. His expression flickered for a moment, hesitant. Bye. Cove lightly took one of your hands in his and gave it a small squeeze. He dipped his face forward, wanting to kiss farewell. Aw, this is cute. When instead he stopped midway, his whole body stiff. Why? He jerked his gaze back at your mom, and you realized that she had grabbed the hem of his shirt. She gave it a small tug before letting go. What the fuck is wrong with my mom? Time's a wasting, Cove, and I've known you long enough to be aware that you're one to linger. If I don't stop you now, you'll drag your feet on parting ways more. The two of you can snuggle. I was gonna say nuggle. We can nuggle. The two of you can snuggle and make out as much as you want later. We have important shopping to do now. Cove gasped at what he felt was a truly obscene thing to say. His face burned red, but that was ignored by him. He spoke with an unimpressed roll of his eyes. You don't need to literally pull me away from Princess. I'm not that clingy. You sure? Mom sniggered. Oh my gosh, no. That's not a word. That's not a good word. With a shake of her head. They should not have used that word. There should be a C and a K right there. Wow. Co's eyebrows raised over the reaction, and he turned to Ma. She couldn't meet his eye as she whistled innocently. I don't know how I feel about that word being there. Like, out of all the words they could have used, that one with the slur in it, crazy. Liz smirked ear to ear, and Cove whipped his head towards his dad. Mr. Holden couldn't offer anything more than an apologetic shrug. It was only then that it dawned on Cove that everyone did think he was that needy. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to this again. I know it's not a slur. That word's not a slur, but it's like, out of all the words you could have used, you include that one that has that in it, you know? That's crazy. That's crazy to me. Why would you choose that word out of all the words? Finally, he dared to face you with pride, with wide, pleading eyes. Don't make fun of Cove. Who said you were allowed to say things like that to him? Cove is totally capable of being independent when he wants to be. There's nothing wrong with being attached. It's nice. Oh, come on, Cove. You know how it is. Silently, you stared back at him. Which one? Which one sounds like me? There's nothing wrong with being attached. It's nice. It's nice. And he meant it. You very much enjoyed Cove's company and his affectionate nature. Excuse me. I had too much water. When I intake things, I get gas. But that wasn't exactly a denial of what he was being accused of. Mom's smile grew. Cove couldn't believe that he was being completely outnumbered. His mouth twisted as he struggled to come up with something to say in his defense. Yeah, well, so what? That admission had Liz, your moms, and his dad bursting into laughter. Cove grimaced and walked several steps from the group before stopping. He clearly wanted to move on, so much that he was physically moving away. He smiled softly and waved goodbye. When he noticed Cove's mouth pulled into a bent smile of his own, he seemed to feel better. He seemed to feel better a bit. See you in a few hours. Take care of yourselves. At that, Mom picked a direction and set out into the market, with Mr. Holden and Cove following behind her. Grinning, Ma sent them a big wave. Liv gave a daintier goodbye wave herself. Despite the change in plans, you were so glad to be there. You felt the change in plans was a good idea. You felt unsure about it. You had been happy, and now you were annoyed. This definitely put a damper on your good mood. This definitely put a damper on my good mood. It definitely did. You thought that you'd get to go shopping all together. You had been looking forward to being able to go through the market with your boyfriend. You didn't like having your plans suddenly changed. I don't like having my plans suddenly changed. You had been looking forward to this trip, and now it sucked that things shifted at last minute. Frowning, you hoped that this would be the only hiccup for today. Liz noticed you were already deflating and took up the spot next to you. She elbowed you in a gesture that could only be encouraging when coming from an older sibling. Do you think there'll be any nice ginger around here? We'll have to find out. You nodded plainly, not having much to add right now. Ma led you both into the busy market. Some time passed, and your group had spent it browsing for the most part. There were only a few stalls you stopped at, but otherwise you were dragging your feet, trailing along behind Ma and Liz. At one point, Ma stopped suddenly. She put a hand on her belly and gave a half-hearted smile. Oh my gosh. I think I should have used the bathroom before we left home, like the two of you responsibly did. Mom, you got a poo? Just need to pee? Yes, Liz. I'll just have to visit the ladies' room. I'll have to visit the ladies' room now. Oh my gosh. Why can't I speak? Should we wait here? Should Liz and I go without you? Should we all go with you? Should we all go with you? Ma craned forward as she struggled to pinpoint the direction she needed to go. She gently considered your suggestion. There's no need to worry about me for this. Or waste time standing around. Keep on shopping. Though, actually, I might need help finding my way. Can you please come, Lizzie? You and his sisters had to share a look over that. Why do that of all things? Ma, if anyone should go anywhere on their own, shouldn't it be you? You're the one needing to detour, and you're the parent here. Ma giggled, unfazed by the resistance. Liz, meanwhile, tipped the brow of her hat up, watching Ma skeptically. Soon enough, Princess will have to handle doing these kinds of errands on their own. This makes good practice. No. What? Ma hooked an arm around Liz's and pulled her along. Have fun. We'll find each other again later. Excuse me? Not my mom ditching me, not her giving me anxiety. This would put me in such an anxiety attack. I would be on the floor, rolling around in fetal position. Bye, wait, you waved. You tried following after them. You stood there stunned. I'm following after them. They're not leaving me here. As Ma and Liz waded into the crowd, you raced after them, but they were out of sight within moments. What started as a group outing suddenly became you, entirely on your own. You were overwhelmed. You thought, screw them. You were done with this whole trip. You felt great being left on your own. You thought Mom was being ridiculous. You didn't really mind. I'm overwhelmed. You weren't prepared at all to be flung out here on your own. You walked off on your own. You found a place to sit where you were left. I'm texting Cove. My boyfriend's not going to leave me. At that point, you had no interest in your mom's plans. If they weren't going to stick around to follow it through, you were going to do what you actually wanted. Taking out your phone, you quickly pulled your chat with Cove up and sent, "Want to shop together, or I could join your group?" Ma and Liz went off themselves and left me. It wasn't long at all before you got a response back. Cove responded in rapid-fire messages. What? Wait, where are you? You took a survey of your surroundings and then sent him a description of where you were and the path you took to get there. While you waited for his response, you watched all the people moving around and past you. There wasn't a single familiar face. When your phone received a new text, you breathed a sigh of relief. Okay, I'm on my way. Great, thanks. Cove couldn't get there fast enough. There wasn't any reason that you could think of why you had to wander around the market alone. When you were certain Cove wasn't sending any more messages for now, you went to put your phone away. The familiar keychain caught your eye, bringing a warm smile to your lips. It was still so easy to remember those early days of your relationship with Cove. His pink cast, his big sad eyes, his frustration with his parents, but through it all, he was there. Since you met him, Cove had always been there. You had grown up to really appreciate what it meant. You placed your phone back where it belonged and checked around a nearby stall to kill time at. One pulled your focus. What is this? Candy? That would pull my focus, that would. While most stalls were selling various garden-grown foods, this one had an array of homemade fudge. Fudge! I love fudge. There were even vegan versions of every option. You got closer to you got closer to the stall, but soon your gaze shifted. No, I'm getting closer to the stall. I want some fudge. Let's see. Caramel, chocolate peanut butter, key lime, toffee, chocolate white peppermint, cookies and cream. Ooh. Let's get cookies and cream and milk chocolate. I would love that one. You sidestepped past a few other people and got yourself right in front of the counter for a better look. There was a widespread dozen and dozens of delicately cut squares of decadence. The owner smiled and approached you to explain their shop. The fudge is sold in boxes of 4 pieces. They either can be all the same, all different, or any mix you like. Are you looking to buy any today? You didn't want to get any, you wanted to get a box yourself, you wanted to get a box to share with everyone, you wanted to get a box for just Cove. I'm definitely, fuck my moms. First of all, fuck my moms for leaving me alone like that. So they're not getting shit from me. I'm getting a box for myself. And if Cove wants to share, he can have some. Your mind was already filling with thoughts of sinking your teeth into the delicious fudge. There was no walking away empty-handed now. Not you popping up on my screen. Not you playing Helldivers. Well, I'm streaming. So rude. So rude. You wanted to get a box to share with everyone. You know what? I'm gonna get a box for me and Cove. Everyone else can suck my nuts. Looking at the treats made you think of Cove, you grinned hoping he'd like what you picked out. And that's all. Yeah, I could use some fudge. I'm glad you came to the right place then. For yourself, you picked... I'm picking milk chocolate and cookies and cream and chocolate toffee. Why not? Chocolate toffee. And let's get another milk chocolate. For Cove, you picked... I don't know. What would Cove like? I feel like he'd like chocolate peanut butter. And I feel like he'd like key lime. And I feel like he looks like a person to like white chocolate to me. And he might like maple walnut. Oh, white chocolate peppermint? You know what? Let's get him white chocolate peppermint. Or maybe... The shop owner carefully put your order together. You couldn't help but try to imagine how Cove might react when you presented this to him. You paid and there was no stopping the large grin going all across your face. Pivoting on your heels, you wove your way back to where you were initially. You kept yourself on alert, trying to spot Cove among the crowd. For the next several minutes, you stood there on high alert, trying to spot Cove among the crowd. You broke into a smile when you saw his familiar seafoam hair sticking out above the masses. He hadn't seen you yet, but Cove was walking with purpose in your direction. He's so cute. You noticed he was hefting a couple bags in his hand. Cove, over here. He instantly stopped dead in his tracks. Did he make a shopping trip on his way to me? Sir, I'm over here having an emergency and you're over here shopping without me? We could be shopping together. Alert, Cove's head snapped up and his eyes searched the crowd until they landed on you. His whole demeanor brightened at the sight. Princess. Even from a distance, you could tell his mood shifted again. He seemed serious. He weaved through passerby awkwardly in an attempt to get through as fast as reasonably. Oh my gosh, I cannot read. Why is this a problem for me? I'm starting from the beginning. He weaved through passers-by awkwardly in an attempt to get through as fast as reasonably possible, nearly stumbling more than once. You went over to him, you couldn't move from where you were, you bounced in place excited for him to reach your spot, you ran to meet him, you ran into his arms. Run into his arms, be dramatic. You took off full tilt toward Cove as he continued his own approach. You stretched forward as the distance closed. What you were doing clicked and he easily scooped you into his arms as you jumped toward him. Oh my god, so cute. His bags crashed into your back, but you didn't mind. I mean, I do mind. I do. Then you moved right into kissing him, and you snuggled against him. We're gonna snuggle. We don't need to kiss right now. You stood there holding each other in the middle of the farmer's market for a nice moment. Too soon you had to separate. There were things to discuss. No, I'm not. My mom's ditched me, knowing that I have social anxiety. Yeah, what did my mom think about you coming? I have no idea. Yours weren't the only ones to just leave. Your mom took my dad before you even messaged. You're kidding. I wish. I can't believe this happened to both of us. Okay, hold on. Are they just trying to make us, like, have time apart? Listen, if I want to be apart from him, I'll be apart from him. And if he wants to be apart from me, he'll be apart from me. Don't try to force this. We can do things together and we can do things on our own. But right now, I want to spend my time with him. I can't believe this happened to both of us. They planned it. They had to. But I don't know why. Are they pranking us? I don't know either. And he meant it. You couldn't fathom what your moms were up to. Cove shook his head, trying to clear his mind. I guess things are just up to us now. Yeah. I don't know why they're making us shop at the farmer's market, as if we live together when we don't. Like, what items am I gonna get here that Cove is also gonna get? Like, together? Like, I guess we were doing this separately. But like, what things am I gonna get at the farmer's market that they're not gonna get at their house that I'm gonna also eat? Like, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. So, his gaze wandered off, as if one of your parents might simply appear if he kept checking, and you could tell he was still processing the situation. He scratched the back of his head, looking sheepish. Do you still want to go shopping with me? Definitely. Cove beamed, and you were ecstatic at the thought of spending the rest of the trip with him. It was finally time to take some control back over your day. Even if we have to make our own fun, we're gonna have a good trip. Cove smiled at you encouragingly. It made you feel more optimistic now, a little bit more helpful, glad he was there, but still overall unhappy. Nothing, it was a terrible trip either way. A little bit more hopeful. You weren't alone anymore, and you could feel yourself becoming better prepared to get through the rest of the day. So, where to first? I don't mind going back the way I came, if it's new to you. It's not hard to miss stuff, even if I've gone past it. What have you gotten? Cole shuffled his bags around and started pulling them open so you could peek inside each one. You recognized the arrays of things he picked up around the market. I mostly got typical, oh my gosh. Mostly got typical things I could use pretty easily so far. Nothing super exciting. And, well, I picked up a few things I figured you might want to have too. You're so sweet. You're so sweet. There were a few red onions, some lemons, and potatoes, among other things that were wrapped up so you couldn't discern what they were. You got me potatoes, tomatoes, greens, beans. You chose perfectly, thank you. What did he get me? Did he just get me some vegetables? And some fruits? Girl, I don't want that. I got scurvy. I don't want that. What Cove bought made sense, but it was far from complete selection. You glanced around the nearby stalls. Wanna start over there? Cove thought that's probably why he got me that stuff. He was like, you need more citrus in your diet? You've got scurvy. Cove followed your eye as you pointed at one of the larger stalls. It was filled with several kinds of staple fruits and vegetables. Yeah, let's go. Once a few people finished paying and moved, you and Cove got yourselves directly in front of the shop. There were so many things to pick from. What do I want? I like apples. I like limes. I like spinach. Do I want lemons? He got lemons and potatoes already, so I'm okay. And that was everything. The shop owner put your selection together and handed it to you all in a single bag. Happily, you paid and waited for Cove to make his purchase. Ready to go? Cove grinned, satisfied with his new choices. He had added another bag to his small but growing collection. You nodded. Oh, wait, before we start moving on and everything, wanna hold hands? Why are you asking me to hold my hand? Boy, if you don't just grab my hand. You shook your head no. I'd never shake my head no. You held onto his and actually no, that's not true. But it would be a very specific circumstance where I would say no. Shyly, you lifted your hand to him, you held onto his hand, you took his arm instead, you offered him your arm. Let's hold hands, fool. There was no way you could say no to that face. Delighted, you laced your fingers with his without hesitation. I'm always holding hands. Always holding my own hand. Cove squeezed your hand back. With renewed eagerness, your boyfriend nodded his head in the direction you had been going towards. Okay, now let's go. Together, you and Cove wandered the market on the lookout for any stalls that caught your attention. Cove was walking around with a spring in his step, talking about the various meal ideas he had in mind. Oh, we're making meals? I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna make with a lime apples. Did I get anything else? I don't think I did. I guess a fruit salad, but I don't think that would work either. An apple teeny? We can't even drink yet. After a while, you had to go greater distances to find something of interest. Several of the stalls were selling the same goods. It was only a matter now of which you wanted to buy from. You continued ambling down the path until Cove stopped suddenly, literally pulling you away from your thoughts. Cove? You followed his eye line past the crowds. Immediately, you knew what grabbed him. Homemade jams and local honey. Ooh, honey. That stall was glittering with quaint glass jars stacked high, each encasing gels of varying colors. Cove's eyes were practically sparkling at the sight. He's a jam man, I see. His feet automatically began to take him there, likely without being fully aware he had made an unexplained detour. When you got closer, you were surprised there were even more varieties than you thought. There were even different honeys based on what type of pollen the bees used. Oh, that changes stuff? I did not know that changed stuff. That's interesting. The more you know. The more you know. Cove's focus seemed torn between a bottle of blackberry jam and one of clover honey. Want some honey, honey? You said you asked earnestly. Did you want some honey, honey? You said just to tease him. I wonder, what on earth could you possibly want at the stall? Everything looks good. You shake your head at him disapprovingly. You quietly left him to his dilemma. I'm gonna tease him. You want some honey, honey? Evil. Dumbfounded, Cove nodded in response. His face was burning red. You grinned, way too pleased with your own joke. Oh, I'm so fucking corny. I love that for us. You thought things over for yourself. Clover honey, orange blossom honey, spring wildflower honey, honey butter. I love me some honey butter. Fuck all this. I'm getting me some honey butter. Orange blossom honey, spring wild. Let's get clover honey. I didn't even know clovers could produce that kind of stuff. I don't think I like jam, so I'm just gonna get this. You paid and the shop owner started putting together your order. They carefully packed it in a single bag with paper. Thank you very much. Amused, you watch Cove give in and just buy both the clover honey and the blackberry jam. Babe, we could have shared the clover honey. We could have. You didn't have to get two. He also went all in, getting spring wildflower honey and plum jam too. Okay. Good for us. The shop owner thoughtfully wrapped each in a brown paper to protect them before putting them away in a bag. He handed the purchase to Cove.
Thank you.
You both stepped away from the stall. Cove didn't fail to notice the look you'd been giving him since he agonized over his toast toppers. Hey, this doesn't go bad for a long time, so why not stock up? I could have chosen one if I wanted to. Alright, Cove. It'll be nice to enjoy snacking on it for a while. As you began to stroll, Cove looked up at the sky. Honey butter is so good. Can I just say that? Honey butter is like a supreme butter. Maybe it's just because I like sweet things. I probably have cavities, knowing me. Because I love sugar. So surprised I don't have diabetes, honestly. So surprised. I might need to go to the doctor. I need to make my doctor's appointments. I said this already. I should probably do that later. You know what? Let's focus on the game now. Let's not focus on me. You began to stroll. Cove looked up at the sky. He smiled. It was sort of unexpected, considering all of this was technically an errand, and unexpected changes often upset him. Me too. But he was happy, and Cove liked doing this kind of normal thing. Sorry, I had to take off my headphones. My fringe was bothering me. And you could tell that Cove especially enjoyed doing these kinds of things with you. You blushed thinking of how comfortable doing this with Cove felt. You were feeling better than you were earlier. You were just feeling down about how the trip turned out. Cove's pleased attitude annoyed you. Never. I'm feeling better. It was going to take a while before you could completely move on from being left in the middle of the market, but with Cove, you were happy. You could smile along with him. I'm glad you're having a good time. We're so domestic. I love that. I wonder what the others are doing. Fuck them. I don't give a shit what they're doing. We're so domestic. Cove took a sharp intake of air and started coughing for a moment. Afterwards, he looked at you and your teasing grin and chuckled. That is true. I like it. Aww, this is cute. Later, when he spotted a less crowded area, you took a break from browsing. Can I give him his fudge now? Cove started rummaging through one of his bags just to check on how his goods were doing. A smile grew in his face as he went to the next. You chuckled, knowing that Cove wouldn't let anything go to waste. There wasn't a single doubt he was going to eat it all. You held a hand in front of your face as you squinted upwards. The sun had moved quite a bit. You'd been at the market for a good while now. Neither your feet nor your arms were sore right now. And Cove looked to be doing fine too, but that was something that could be coming. There was a price to pay for this much shopping, and it wasn't always just in money. Can you give me a piggyback ride? Am I still doing that? Could you carry my things when you carry your bags on a piggyback? I'm not giving him a piggyback ride. You quietly enjoyed the break from walking. Give me a piggyback ride. Yeah, for you, I can do that. Ugh, this is love. This is amore. Ugh, this is so cute. I wish this was me. Thank you. Right now, not really, because I'm streaming. A piggyback ride wouldn't be great right now. Cove crouched down, low so you could climb on. You pressed yourself against his back and comfortably wrapped your arms around his neck. Once you were in position, he stood. Your head steadily rose high above the clouds. It was lifting your spirits pretty literally. Oh my gosh, that's cute. Cove huffed, letting out a breathy laugh. Are you okay? Yeah. Just realized this means I'm the one carrying all the bags too, not just you. It's great. It's great strength workout for you. Should I get down? No, I've got it. Cove took a few test steps and then stopped. He grinned, pleased with himself. Ready to get going? Mm-hmm. Keep an eye out for any good deals while you're up there. You're the best view around. You're the best? You've got the best view around. That's what I meant to say. I mean, I am the best view around. I agree with that statement. Laughing, you craned your head up to get as high as you could, keeping your hold on him secure. Cove was right. You had a whole new perspective. Especially since I'm so short. I'm on it. And with that, you and Cove continued your trip through the market together. Ma and Mom had both texted you during the trip, though only to say that they hoped you found some good stuff and that they'd see you later. There was no answers on where they went or why. You and Cove continued to wind your way through the bustling market, the list of outstanding items steadily shrinking while bags grew heavier. As you had unrivaled view of the market thanks to Cove's height, locating the product your heart desired had been easy. Do I have a desired product? I don't think I did. I already got the fudge. Carrying every single thing purchased, as well as another person, made it hard for Cove to check his own phone. So he made do without it. I mean, I could check his phone for him if he wants. Eventually, though, he said that he ought to check if something important had come through. So your ride came to a stop out of the flow of foot traffic, and you dismounted his back. Cove rearranged all the bags he was carrying, freeing a hand so that he could pull out his phone. You watched his eyes dart over the screen as he read the waiting messages. Not important. I can reply to that later. He mumbled his verdict under his breath. And Cove's face scrunched up with confusion. Wait, I got a message from Dad. Listen to this. Cove, I wasn't part of the plan. I didn't know what was going on when I left the princess's mom. Where are you? He sent that ages ago. I didn't hear it come in. He sent another one since then. Says he hopes I'm alright and that he's not bothering me. Then the newest one says everybody's going to the parking lot soon and we can meet up there. Siri, don't do that. He lowered his phone, eyes narrow. The same conclusion that was settling on you had landed on Cove as well. So, it was on purpose. He lifted the phone again, staring hard at the screen. Yeah, you didn't figure that out? You didn't get that? I thought we already solved that problem. Didn't my mom pull this stunt when we were little? You know, that time she took us to the mall? Did she? At least your mom says she was leaving. My mom's had a plan. The mall things were a spur of the moment. Wait, hold on. Was it with all of us? Like, or was it just me, Cove, and your mom? Because I remember that, but what your mom did was even worse. I don't remember. He didn't say anything. Honestly, I'm a little fuzzy on the details, but at least your mom did say she was leaving. Is this a mom thing? Cove blinked, a slight frown furrowing his forehead. He didn't seem to know how to respond to this. The crowd of people passing by stayed as nosy as ever, a sharp contrast from the silence that had fallen over you and Cove. Not nosy, noisy, oh my gosh. Reading comprehension. He was rubbing the screen of his phone against his shirt, wiping away dust and debris. He continued scrubbing the screen long after anything could have remained, the action of poor substitute for pushing away the awkwardness of the moment. Why is the moment awkward? Why is the moment awkward? You felt alright about it. The whole mess was upsetting to you. You were furious. You didn't care about what your mom was doing. You were struggling to comprehend this. The shock was too fresh for you to even... I know what? I am struggling to comprehend this. What is happening? Why are you upset? I thought we already knew. Let's just go find our parents. Or we could ditch them. Some of your parents' actions made more sense with its context, but the bigger question, that of why, was still weighing down on you. Okay, then fine. How are they going to explain this? I can't believe them. You sniffed, trying to hold back tears. You groaned, the sound expressing your misery in ways that words couldn't. You know me, I'm a crybaby. Cove leaned down, making his eyes level with yours. He laid his hands on your shoulders and grounding you. Cove's frown grew taut. His mouth a stiff, serious line, but his eyes wide with concern. I'm sorry about your mom's leaving you alone out here like this, without warning. His speech was slower than usual. You suspected he was choosing each word carefully. It was unnatural, but you appreciated that he didn't want to risk upsetting you further. We love to see it. I don't know if you want to talk to them about this, but I can definitely back you up. I totally get that it's sucky. You vented about the debacle, you wanted to let it go. I'm venting. Bro, this is so booty. I didn't want things to be like this. Tears blurred your vision. You wipe them away quickly. Sorry, my finger did the scroll wheel by accident. But they didn't even talk about it. I didn't even get a chance to say anything. Cove listened, nodding gently as you unburdened yourself. You then drew a deep breath, the fresh air studying you. You didn't stop until your lungs were full. Cove watched over you, still concerned. Even though I guess it's not exactly my fault this time, but is there anything I could do to make you feel better? Even a little bit? He's so sweet. You already have. We're not the one who can make this better. You shook your head. Hey, aren't I the one who's supposed to help you with your parents? Can I have a hug? Kiss me? No, not in this situation. You know what? You already have, babe. Just being here. I did? Yeah, you really did. Cove nodded in understanding. He smiled a simple, open and honest smile, and you knew that he accepted your answer. Oh my gosh. After a moment, he stepped further away from you, face turned. Cove closed his eyes and took a deep breath. His brow creased, then furrowed deeper into a scowl, his arms tightly coiling together. So they did... Can I read? So they did do something stupid. I knew it. His voice had taken an exaggerated quality, but what truly distinguished it from Cove's typical speaking tone was an abundance of rage. This is such a chore. Parents are so dumb. Why do people have to go places with family members anyway? I hate them, and I also hate farmers markets. Do you? Do you really? You got it instantly. It had been years since the boy had the bowl cut, had been in town for the summer, but Cove had never forgotten. Forgotten what? I'm confused. What are we remembering? To this day, he continued to unleash his impersonation whenever the moment felt right. Oh, is this what this is? This is an impersonation. I would have never gotten that. I would have never have gotten that. Sometimes you wondered if the act had been more exaggerated over the years, or if the kid really was that ridiculous. You burst out laughing, you shook your head at Cove's silliness, you played along, you smiled quietly. That kid is never gonna live that down, huh? I'm sighing. I'm quietly sighing, because I'm confused. He was only trying to cheer you up, but you weren't in the mood. Cove gave you a lopsided smile, letting the joke rest for now. Come on. We should probably go meet up with the group. Yeah. You didn't dally any longer, slipping back into the crowd and making your way towards the entrance of the farmer's market. It didn't take long to reach the parking lot. Your parents, Mr. Holden and Liz, were already waiting there, and they waved at you both as you approached. Your own family seemed to be in a pretty good mood, in contrast to Mr. Holden. He stared at Cove with open concern as you got closer. Hey, bud. Hey, princess. How you doing? We'd be doing better if we hadn't been abandoned in the farmer's market by our families. You saw your moms frowning at his response, Mom glancing from Cove to Mom without blinking eyes. Just because Princess is really laid back doesn't mean you can just leave them out of your plans and expect them to go with it every time. You know what? That's so true. And I love that you think I'm laid back. That's such a sweet compliment. Mom hung her head ashamed. Mom had a hand pressed to her cheek. You could tell they were quickly regretting their scheme. Are you? Are you, Mom? Are you, Ma? Her words were full of emotion. Ma squeezed Ma's arm. We were trying to make the errand more of a trip, less of a chore. This is some shit my mom would probably pull too. Like my in real life mom. Because I have really bad anxiety. I have general anxiety disorder, amongst other things. But my anxiety disorder makes me really nervous and anxious to do things. And I don't like driving downtown. And to get my hair done, I had to drive downtown by myself because my grandma told me that she would take me, but then you know what happened? A baby shower happened, and she's like, nope, you gotta take yourself. It's like, you can drive by yourself. I'm like, yeah, I can drive by myself, but I don't like driving downtown. And so I was having really bad anxiety, and I had to pop some pills. By some pills, I mean one pill, and obviously prescription, and it's mine. I take my medicine well, that's a lie. Sometimes I miss my doses, but I take my medicine when I need to take my medicine. I remember to take my medicine. That's all you need to know. So, yeah. And you're not supposed to drive when you're taking like anxiety pills because the point of them is to make you calm down and make you drowsy. But guess who was driving? Me. And was I freaked out? Yeah, I still was freaked out. I didn't like it. I don't enjoy doing it. And my mom, I was telling her, because I was about to leave, and she was like, think of it as an adventure. You're going to get your hair done. I'm like, that's not how it fucking works. I don't want to go on an adventure. I just want to get my hair done. I want it to be over with, and I hate it, and I don't want to do this. And like, she kept trying to like tell me to change my perspective, and it was pissing me off. I was trying so hard to not be like, please stop talking to me. Go away. Because I don't want to be rude. But it was getting to that point. So yeah. I completely feel how Princess in this game feels. Because I made her feel this way. I made them feel this way. Ma nodded. We didn't think you, Cove, and Liz wanted to be stuck trudging around a market with your parents all day. If I want to hang out with you, I want to hang out with you. If I don't want to hang out with you, I can leave. I can literally go. You have a phone, I have a phone. I can just peace out. But I want it to be here, and you're just gonna do this? You're not gonna hang out with me? That's ass. Especially not in the summer. But you're always very thoughtful and don't like to leave your moms behind, so we did ourselves. It was only going to be for the market, not the other shops. I promise. What other stops? What other stops? Where are we going? Still, you're right. We could have just told you and let you make your own call. I really am sorry. Neither of us meant to upset you. All gas, no brakes, and we should have known better. Sorry. Ma ditched me too, after putting her urgent potty breaks on, if that helps. I went off to do my own shopping, as it seems they planned. Sorry I didn't check back in with you. I wasn't thinking and just tried to blow it off. You know what, Liz? I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you, Elizabeth. You quietly took in their stories of what happened. Over to the side, Cove was talking to his dad. Thanks for telling me something was up, though I feel bad for missing the warning you when you sent it. It's no trouble, sport. I learned my lesson about making surprise plans. Did you? Have you? Maybe. Have you grown as a person? Cove smiled at his dad. Mr. Holden, laughing, clapped Cove on the back. Wow, we're really being outplayed today. You realized you hadn't been the only onlookers to Holden's moment. Your moms were exchanging rueful looks. Liz had her arms crossed over her chest, patiently watching it all unfold. Yes, looks like it. We'd better find some way to catch up. Maybe we could do Princess's chores for the next week? Oh, okay, yeah. I'm fine with that. Mom jabbed Ma on her shoulder. You might be onto something. Princess, how do you like the sound of that? They looked at you hopefully. My mom would never suggest this. My mom would never suggest this. Sounds good to me. Make it 2 weeks. You're gonna have to do more than that. Make it 2 weeks. Mom laughed, despite your total serious words. I hear you. And at the very least, you can make sure everyone stays together for the rest of the stops we're making today. Where the fuck else are we going? You all nodded at the suggestion. We won't let you down. We'll be the best sheepdogs ever, guarding the flock and catching any strays. We could at least be shepherds. You chuckled, your mood lifting in spite of the bumpy morning. It was going to be alright. Bumpy morning? We've been at this place all day. The sun is setting. You turned to the entrance for the farmer's market for one final glance, pressing it into your memory under this new light. I never got to share my fudge with Cove. You thought on what you picked up at the market and how you were going to enjoy it later. Some things you could only get from local suppliers like this. That was another perk about coming along to the market today. Cove then sidled up next to you, an eager smile on his face. You could tell from his expression that he was up to something. I know this wasn't part of the plan for the day, but nothing that happened really was, so... You cooked up a scheme of your own? He laughed. Anyway, well, I sort of picked something out with you in mind. Aww, are we exchanging gifts now? You held a hand to your chest, staring at Cove as he explained further. Since your moms decided we would shop separately, I figured I could use the time to get you something, just as a little surprise. You reached into one of his bags. He reached into one of his bags, not me reaching in for him, and retrieved one of the wrapped up objects. You accepted the unexpected present, and he looked on excitedly as you tore off the paper. What'd I get? It was a glass bottle of lemon lime soda. Ooh. You didn't need to taste it to know that it would be nice. It was a boutique product. You know I love me some Sprite. You know I love me some Sprite. I love me some spicy water. It was heavy in your hands. The container and small metal cap reaffirming the quality. Even the label, constructed from coarse paper rather than a flimsy sheet of plastic, was distinctive. You were practically bouncing in anticipation. He smiled sweetly at your reaction. It's not a big deal, but I just thought you might like it. You know me so well, Cove. Thank you, you didn't have to. You're so wonderful. You smiled at him. You're always giving me things. You shook your head at his antics. Thank you. I can't. Oh. Oh. Thank you for the follow, Angel Silver Song. Nice. Hello. It's nice to meet you. It's nice to meet you too. How are you doing? Oh my god, you scared me. When did you send this? If you sent this like a few minutes ago and I just didn't see it, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was wrapped up in the game. Thanks for following. I appreciate it. How are you? What's going on? What's up? You're trying to get your model to work, but there's a problem. None of the rigging is there. Oh, that's gotta be bad. I don't know. I don't have I don't have like a VTuber model. I have this PNGTuber plus model that Babbitt things did for me, and I love it. It's so cute. But how come, why are you having a problem with your rigging? Like, are you rigging it yourself? You're resetting her up because you're using a different PC before. Oh, I hate that. I hate when you have to transfer all your stuff from one PC to another PC, because then you don't remember shit. You don't remember shit because you did everything else so long ago. Now you gotta remember shit. I'm so sorry for you. I'm so sorry. Did you rig her yourself, or did you get someone else to rig your model for you? I can't believe you both got each other something. You were the only one who had that. You weren't the only one that had the idea. Actually, we're a real pair. You grinned, ready to unleash your surprise. I'm ready. I'm ready. And she doesn't even talk. Her move, even though it shows it's tracking. I don't know what this word is supposed to be. I don't know what her thing isn't moving. His eyes began to widen. The lips don't move? Oh, that's weird. That's crazy. I have no idea how that works. I mean, eventually I plan on getting a model, like an actual VTuber model. I think I want to do live 2D instead of like a 3D model. But right now, it's not feasible. So you're here not while trying to figure this out. You're here now trying to figure this out. Makes sense. I'm so sorry you're struggling. I'm so sorry that you're struggling with that. Could you ask maybe the person who did the rigging for it if they know how to fix it? His eyes began to widen. I got something for you too when you weren't around. There was a burst of laughter, first from your mom, followed by a chorus of chuckles from the other three. You'd forgotten they were still hanging around. Oh my god, not them being haters. Not them being haters. You could, but she might be busy at work. I mean, if you know their schedule, then definitely do it at an appropriate time for them. But if you don't know their schedule, I don't think it would hurt right now to like at least message them, and then when they get back to you, they'll get back to you when they can. Like obviously if they need to do like in detailed explanations on stuff, that can wait. But I feel like if you message someone and you do it when you do it, I always feel like do not feel pressured to message me back right away if you're busy. That's just how I view things, because I know people have lives. I also have a life sometimes. And you're finally going to start streaming again with her? Oh, are you guys friends? Oh, do you mean your model? Oh, you meant the person who rigged your model. But you probably mean your actual model. Unfortunately, they hadn't paid you and Cove the same courtesy and had been listening in on your conversation. They're so rude. You weren't even apart for a whole day. Listen. Mind your business. You're just jealous because you don't got a man, Liz. Okay? Mind your business. You meant the model, but a friend did rig the model for you? Got it. I'm glad that you have that connection with that friend that did that for you. But yeah, so I mean, if they are a friend, then I don't see the problem, especially like messaging them. You should definitely message them. It might help you. You never know. And you both still use that as a chance to get each other little gifts. Ma clasps her hands together, eyes bright. That's so lovely. A day? It was less than the whole morning. Will do? I love this for you. You might even get an answer immediately. Who knows? Who knows? True, I don't even want to think about what happens when you spend real time apart. Liz, stop being a hater. You're just jealous. That's my boy. Mr. Holden, please. Please. You stuck a hand into the bag and pulled out a box of fudge you'd picked for Cove earlier. You chuckled coolly, aware that the others were still watching you. When I was alone, I spotted a stall with something I thought you'd enjoy. Fudge. Cove's face lit up, his grin stretching from ear to ear. The laughter that came from the others who were fully tuned into your little show didn't appear to reach him. You got me something too? I sure did, babes. Cove took the box of fudge in one hand and claimed one of your hands with his other. No, we're holding hands. It's so cute. He used the hold he had to lead you closer to him. Well, he lifted the hand to his mouth and peppered kisses over your knuckles. Oh my gosh. This is romantic. This is too scandalous. This is so scandalous. I'm embarrassed. This seems so intimate. He looked at you with eyes full of delight. Thank you so much, princess. At this rate, it wouldn't just be your little group that knew that you'd been treating him. The whole parking lot was going to learn about it. Oh my gosh. Is it wild? Is it crazy? Is it crazy that I'm shy right now? Behind Cove, you could see Mom watching you both with a smile of hilarity. See? This is why he's so attached. You spoiled him. Listen, let me mind your business about my man, okay? This is my man. You shouldn't make fun, Pam. It's clearly mutual. It is mutual. Besides, I don't hear you complaining when I'm spoiling you. Ooh. Eat her up, Mommy. Eat her up. Mom pitched Mom's cheek. She pinched Mom's cheek, making her laugh as she batted the hand away. True, true. Liz clapped her hands together with the air of a teacher calling for attention. Girl, since the other adults aren't acting like grown-ups, the rest of us are gonna have to pick up the slack. But other than that, you got smell like Girl Scouts cookie. What? Is it me? Is it me? Is it my settings? Hold on. Let's chat highlight settings. Maybe? I can't. What does this do? Default, minimize, shortcuts, no. Maybe it's me and I can't see what words you're trying to say. No, it's you using speech to text. Oh, okay. You got shampoo that smells like Girl Scout cookies? Oh, which ones? Which Girl Scout cookies? I had some Girl Scout cookies the other day. By the other day, I mean like last week or the week before that. It was one of those. I got the Lemon Ups and Thin Mints because those are the best cookies. It's time to get back on schedule and continue with the rest of the errands. Playtime is officially over. Ma laughed while Mr. Holden grinned awkwardly. Mom hung her head in an exaggerated display of mock defeat. Samolas? Is that the ones with the coconut bits? Kids are tough. I can't even call them kids anymore. They came out not too long ago. Yep. Like, are they from the Girl Scouts brand? Or is it just like a shampoo that smells like Girl Scout cookies? Those are not my favorite Girl Scout cookies because I do not like coconut. I feel like everything coconut is not tasty. I've never had anything that was coconut that was tasty. I am like a very picky eater, but I love that for you, that you got Girl Scout cookie shampoo that smells good for you. I love that. You deserve nice things. Treat yourself. Liz tut-tutted with amusement at her mother. Cove shrugged, staying a neutral observer, but the small smile on his face revealed that he was enjoying the conclusion. You laughed, glad that everyone was getting along. That's right, we're all grown-ups now. With that, your trip to the farmer's market was closed. It was time to move on. There were too many of you for one car, so you and Cove had wound up in Mr. Holden's car on the way over. You figured it made sense to do the same for the next leg of the journey. You sat next to Cove in the back. Aw, he's sitting in the back with me. That's so cute. He can sit in the passenger seat. Look at him. We're in love. We're in love and I love this. But he hasn't admitted that he loves me yet. Immediately after the click of the seatbelt, and its lock announced that Cove was safely strapped in, he began to unfold the box of fudge he'd been given. You're gonna eat now? Uh-huh. He nodded eagerly, not taking his eyes from the container. He lifted the top off, longingly admired the selection side. Did I do good? White chocolate. It always tastes great. I did. See, I told you guys, he looks like the type of guy who likes white chocolate. I, on the other hand, hate white chocolate. Minty fudge is perfect for the end of snacking. It's so refreshing. Is that green fudge lime? Yeah, key lime. That's amazing because it's fudge, but also fruity somehow. I love him. Always the optimist. That's peanut butter in there, right? It's chocolate with peanut butter mixed. Oh, that's so good. I did such a good job picking out these chocolates for him. He's probably just like gonna say he loves every single chocolate I get him. But if it was me, I'd be like, oh, you got me these? You don't know me that well, but I love that he loves this. Once Cove had finished bestowing praise on what you'd picked, not just praise on me, he promptly started sampling the selection. He was smiling, licking his lips, and having a grand old time. Fudge is so time-consuming to make, but I do want some fudge. Oh my god, I would love some fudge right now. You could also tell from the way his nibbling was turning into munching that the box wasn't going to survive the trip to the next stop. You were right. Cove had tried to savor the treats, claiming just one more until there was only one left, and the statement was finally forced to be true. He finished the last one too. I mean, I also would be eating my fudge right now. He sighed contentedly.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Princess. Those really were great. You're welcome. He set the picked, clean box to the side, then rested his hands on his I thought that said soiled. I was like, why is his tummy soiled? His spoiled tummy. Cove wasn't going to be hungry for a while after that. I mean, after eating 4 pieces of fudge, I definitely would still be hungry. But you know what? I don't know how big these pieces of fudge are, so maybe I wouldn't be. From there, he sat wordlessly, gaze drifting to the window. Do you guys like fudge? Have you ever had fudge? The only time I eat fudge is when Gil's mom makes fudge during Christmas time. And I miss it. I should definitely ask her to make me some fudge. Will she do it? Who knows? Who knows? You knew Cove well enough to spot the signs of when he was physically present but mentally elsewhere. The way he would fall quiet, staring without seeing, the long blinks, all of which he was doing right now as he looked at nothing in particular. Yo, you good? He licked his fingers absent-mindedly, getting the last of the melted fudge off his hands. You were pleased he enjoyed it so much? Is it too late to ask for a taste, you teased? I would have enjoyed a bite too, you said seriously. You looked away, feeling bashful over how well your gift had been received. I'm pleased that he enjoyed it. I love that. I love that I picked something out for him, and he really liked it. I think I just scratched my nose. I brushed my finger against the ridge of my glasses and my nose, and it feels pain. I feel pain every time I rub over that part of my nose now. It's not good. Oh well. You closed your eyes as you pulled up the resolve to speak. You were miles away for a second. What were you thinking about? Well, I was thinking about how nice you are. Oh no, you're so cute. I'm dying. I love this game to pieces. How nice I am? Yeah. His face grew redder as his hands clenched around the top of his knees. You stared at him, hoping for an explanation, but Cove simply ducked his head. When he next spoke, his voice was barely more than a whisper. I'm lucky I get to be with you. I'm lucky to be with you, Cove. That's so sweet. I felt lucky too. You laughed happily. You blushed. His words stunned you. I feel lucky too. Oh my god. We're so in love. He peeked at you from the corner of his eyes, still too shy to look at you directly. You smiled at him affectionately, eliciting an equally caring smile from Cove in return. You felt content, secure in your relationship with Cove. You decided to enjoy your drink now. You wanted to say, I'm gonna drink now. Let's guzzle it. You twisted off the cap and brought it to your mouth. Even before the first zip reached your lips, the zip? Even before the first sip reached your lips, the sip tickled your nostrils. You took a swig. It was refreshing, the perfect way to hit the spot after a long morning trawling through the market. This is great. Thanks, Kolf. He grinned at you, pleased that his pick had been well received. You're welcome. I'm welcome. Well, you just said you're welcome. So you know what, you're right. You spent the rest of the day completing the remaining errands all together as a group. You had enjoyed your brief independence. You're glad that you closed the day with everyone. Ma had been true to her word and ensured that you spent the rest of the time with the Rigel family and the Holden family in one place. It had been a wonderful time, a lovely high note to end on. That's so nice, that's so sweet. Actually, if we do this, we might be able to do 3 today instead of just 2. We'll see where we end up. After lunch, you ran into Baxter. It's best buddy Baxter! He was more than happy for an impromptu hangout in your neighborhood. Of course he would be. He idly spoke about the first time he bought a shirt online. Apparently the website hadn't been in English, so he had made to do with automatic online translations. That's the best way to do stuff. Are you going to do the wedding DLC? Yes, I bought the wedding DLC. We're definitely doing the wedding DLC. We're in step 3 right now. His unique fashion sense was eclectic in more than one way. Finding out how he filled out his wardrobe answered some of your questions about his look. He smiled in fond remembrance. I mean, we're not doing the DLC today. Like, this is one DLC, right? But we're gonna get there. I'm trying to finish out this game so I can switch over to another game that I want to play in April. So I'm trying to finish this game before March ends. So yeah. I mean, I could do tomorrow. I could switch out Death Bulge, but I don't want to do that. I really like playing Death Bulge. I'm just thinking. I have so many thoughts. His unique fashion sense. Yeah, okay, I read that. Did he get this shirt from the place with the translations? I measured myself multiple times to make sure I could order the correct size. It wasn't as if I had been able to ship it back if there were problems. But to make a long story short, it arrived in one piece and multiple months later. At that point, I wasn't going to complain. It was a physical object in my hands. He gestured with his arms for emphasis. As he did, Baxter glanced at his wrist at a watch that wasn't there. Anyway, I hope I'm not taking too much of your time with this. Baxter gives fuckboy, so that's why I'm doing this voice. You had a few chores to do, but you were generally free. You weren't worried about it and shook your head. Baxter eased back and returned to chatting. The two of you meandered around the neighborhood, aimlessly walking as you talked. I saw Cove earlier. He was on his way to work, from what I gathered in a brief chat, and from how he was dressed. How was he dressed? I would love to see him in his work outfit. Yeah, he's working at the old library as an assistant. Is that where he works? I thought he worked at a store with, what's her name? Tifa? Tara. I think her name's Tara. I could be wrong. You know what? We'll find out. Again. Terry. Terry's her name. Where did I get Tifa from? I mean, I was close with Tara. But Tifa? I think he found a good option for himself, especially with how limited jobs are in this town. Since you're free, perhaps we could do better than standing here? I'd be delighted to invite you over to my condo to chat more comfortably. Oh my god, he's trying to get me in bed with him. Sir, I am attached. Baxter's condo. You'd lived on the street your entire life, but had never actually been inside. You were curious about it. I'll go. I can't. I thought you'd never ask. You accepted? You nodded in acceptance. You shook your head at the idea. That sounds lovely. I do not have Baxter's DLC. But I said, after we finish this game, we give it a break a little bit, and then we'll probably play it again, and maybe do Derek or Baxter's DLC. It really just depends on how things work out. But, like, I really like this game, so I would love a DLC. I want a Miranda DLC. I want to marry Miranda. I love her. She's so fucking cute. See, me, I don't know. What do I want to do? His DLC is a roller coaster, is it? I bet it is. Look at how he's dressed. He looks like a roller coaster. He looks like he's a wild ride. You know what? I'll nod. I'll be like, okay, sure. But I want to leave before this evening. I have plans to visit Cove at his work, too. Of course. I wouldn't presume to keep you. How do I know, though? How do I know that you're not going to murder me? He made a grand sweeping gesture directed at his place and led the short walk over. What if someone sees this? What if someone sees this and they go snitch? I mean, nothing is going to happen in here. But I don't want Cove to be jealous. Maybe I do. Maybe it'll be interesting. You followed beside him, stopping when you reached his front door. He opened it for you and welcomed you inside. It was a familiar threshold from your childhood. You couldn't help having a slight shiver up your spine as you thought of this condo's previous residents. Ooh, this is nice. Okay. You took a quick breath as you cautiously stepped into the condo. The first thing you noticed was just how unexpectedly nice and sleek it was. It sure is. It was also clean and smelled faintly like some sort of unidentifiable air freshener. You had to wonder how much of this was due to whoever rented it out, the former residents or the current one. Regardless of the pleasant presentation, you were on edge. You couldn't help but stay on guard, as if mean, not grandparents might jump out to yell at you at any moment. Oh my gosh, now me having PTSD. Now me having PTSD about these old people. Baxter noticed something of your discomfort and raised an eyebrow. Everything all right? I've never seen the inside of this condo. Oh my god. I was not expecting his voice. His voice is so different from my voice because I can't really do deep voices. I'm trying my best out here. But his voice was so like smooth. It scared me. Oh. He seemed genuinely surprised. The former neighbors never had you over for tea. Sounds like a character for this street. You snorted the ridiculous thought of those particular prior visitors ever inviting you over. No, they weren't exactly nice. They were the opposite of that, really. I'm actually amazed I'm standing here now. You know where we haven't been? We haven't been to my park. Take me back to the park. I own that park. It's my park. You love how deep his voice is. His actor actually sometimes pops into streams like mine. Yeah, he came into the stream, like, I think last week he came into the stream, and I was so surprised. I was like, oh my god, hey, welcome in. He's really cool. He's a really cool dude. I enjoyed having him in stream when he was here. And it was so funny because this is my first time meeting Baxter too. So it was like my first experience with him at all. Baxter's smile was curled as he ushered you to the rest of the way inside and closed his door. Don't close the door. I don't want to be trapped in here. He gave you a follow. He gave me a follow too, at least on Twitch, not on Twitter. That's okay. He doesn't have to follow me on Twitter, but I really appreciate him following me on Twitch. That was really nice. It was really nice of him. But you streamed this game too. Are you like currently streaming it, or did you stream it before? I'd like to hear more about this. Sounds like there's a story here. You have all the DLC? I don't have all the DLC. I want to get the DLC. I hope there's more DLC that comes out, because it's a really cute game. I really am having a good time. He sat on his sofa, first sitting properly before readjusting his position to a comfortably forward crouch. He waved his hand toward his furniture, an invitation to take a seat yourself. You sat on the couch beside him. You sprawled on the other half of his couch. Took a seat on a nearby chair. I'll sit in a nearby chair. You can't wait till the sequel. There's a sequel game? What's the sequel game? I didn't even know there was a sequel game. Tell me about it. I want to know. I want to know about the sequel game. It was more comfortable than it looked. So, you want to hear about the mean, not grandparents? Okay. My ears are open. You're a kickbacker, so you got all the DLC, including the wedding. I'm not. I just found out about this game last year, I think, and I played through Adolescence. So it was a really fun experience because at that time I didn't have the DLC. I bought the DLC specifically to stream because I was having a good time. I was like, this game's so fucking cute, and I showed this bitch off. You begin to give him the rundown of your past neighbors, explaining how they didn't like children, had a reputation among you, and the other kids were being nasty. Nasty. The summer Cove moved in, we were all hanging out. Well, Cove was crying, and Lizzie had this idea for me to go ding-dong ditching on them. I probably shouldn't have done it, but at the time, it just had to be done. So I went up, rang the doorbell, and ran for my life. Well, that's not exactly what happened. I definitely left a roly-poly there on their porch, but they didn't notice it, so. Reasonable. Is the demo out for the second game? Oh, is there? Okay, I'm gonna jot this down. So I'm gonna check out this demo. Out our life. Sequel demo. My handwriting is so ugly right now. I don't know what's up with me. The two of you continued to chat until the sun started hanging lower in the sky. It could be seen falling through his large windows. You stood up when it was time to go. Baxter led you to the door. Oh, that was quick. What a short chat. I think I'm actually going on an outing to the town myself. It's a good night for exploring. Sir, why are you telling me this? What's the purpose? You nodded as you stepped outside. Bye, see you later. Thanks for having me over. Have a nice time. You waved him goodbye. You left without looking back. Thanks for having me over. Goodbye, princess. You parted in good spirits and walked off. Ooh. You entered your house and got yourself ready to visit Cove. You were definitely looking forward to seeing him. I forgot what the inside of my house looks like. It's been so long. Lately, Cove had been working more often. You rarely saw him during his shift for obvious reasons. He was busy. That was why it had been a surprise when Cove asked you to swing by. Oh. Why would that be a surprise? I love the library. I would definitely be at the library all the time, especially if my boyfriend worked there. When the second game comes out, if you're up for it, maybe we could stream it together? Sure, why not? Why not? I would love to get to know you better before I decide to stream with you, though. It's just a thing that I personally have to do. So, if you have Twitter, message me on Twitter, and then we can talk. Or if you have Discord, my Discord name is Princess Beauregard. I think it's all one word. No capitals. Let me look. You can message me there. What's my shit? No, it's not Princess Beauregard. It's Princess Blue. You have both? Okay. I'm more likely to respond on Discord. So yeah, it's Princess Blue. That's my Discord name. Maybe Cole was thinking about how much his job had impacted how often you saw each other. I just like to get to know people before I decide to stream with them. That's just a me thing. Cause like, what if we don't vibe? What if we actually hate each other? What if you aren't respectful to my stream? And maybe I'm overstepping your boundaries and I don't know. We have to get to know each other first. That's how I feel. So yeah. Luckily his place of employment was within walking distance. You wouldn't have to worry about getting a ride. Completely understandable. I'm glad you understand. Thank you for understanding. But yeah. Find me there or on Twitter. Whichever one's more comfortable for you. The air felt heated around you, but with enough of a breeze to cool you off. You strode past familiar buildings, not even having to think about how to get to Cove's job. You had gone down these streets more than enough times to memorize the way. It was easy to enjoy the brief trip. Soon enough, you reached the local library parking lot. You headed right inside. Immediately after opening the door, you smelled the warm, solid smell of books. A bit stuffy, but it was a nostalgic feeling. Your eyes scanned the front room for a certain tall, green-haired assistant. Is there a space to your name, or is it just all one word? It's all one word. It's all one word. I had to look myself, because I was like, did I put a space? I didn't. You spotted him easily at a desk. He didn't seem too busy. No one else was around. You stepped closer. He instinctively looked up from a stack of papers at the sound of someone approaching. Cove met your eyes with a welcome smile when he realized who it was. Oh. Hey, princess. Thanks for coming. You're welcome, babe. Hey, thanks for inviting me. Is stuff going good? Cove laughed quietly, his eyes alight with past bemusement. You should have seen it. When I got here earlier, there was a huge fight going on with the schedule. I tried to stay out of it. I'm lucky no one else wants to close. It's not something I've got to defend. Some shifts are way too competitive. He shook his head at the memory. You wondered how the shifts had been sorted out in the end. He didn't bother to elaborate further on his workplace drama. Oh, welcome in, Ack. The library in this game is so cute. It is cute. I love libraries so much. Subscribed for 7 months at tier 1. Bless up. Welcome back, Ack. How are you doing? I mean, not back, but welcome in. Welcome in, welcome back. Whichever floats your fancy. Whatever floats your fancy. What's happening? Collabbies. Ooh. Okay. Something was going on with something else. Don't worry about it, but it's here. We're here. We're back. We're back and beautiful. Ack, what are you up to? Are you at work? Yeah, that's me. I have accepted your friend request. He shook his head at the memory. You wondered how the shifts had been sorted out in the end. He didn't bother to elaborate further on his workplace drama. In a stupid meeting right now, you muted my meeting. You admitted you're meeting for my stream. I can't. You're the worst. You're the worst employee. I'm joking. You're probably a really good employee. You're under a lot of stress. I can't imagine. I can't imagine doing that. Anyways, yeah, it's fine. That was the most exciting today got. I'm so glad I don't have to deal with all of that. Good thing you weren't dragged into that problem. Now I'm worried about what it's going to be like when I get a job. You decided not to comment on it. I'm glad I don't have to deal with all that. When I get a job, I'm stressed. I hated the schedule because they were like, you need to look at the schedule to figure out your shift. I'm like, okay, I looked at the schedule, I wasn't scheduled, and then my boss called me. He was like, hey, why aren't you here? I was like, what do you mean, why aren't you here? He was like, your name's on the schedule. I'm like, was it? Because I checked it yesterday and my name was not on the schedule. He was like, yeah, I posted a new schedule yesterday. I'm like, you didn't tell me that. That's when I worked at GameStop, though. Nah, you're a crap employee. Nah, I bet you're like the best employee. You deserve 12 raises. Finding a job is way more stressful than the job I work. It is. Finding a job is so fucking stressful. But also, your job is stressful in itself. You're trying to find a job, shit's stressful because you haven't heard back from anyone. Bruh. I feel that. I'm not looking forward to when I'm done with treatment. Because I was like, I'm gonna get a job. I told Gil I was gonna get a job. And like, he's like, you don't have to. I'm like, I feel bad. I feel bad. I'm helping out more. It sounds like a lot. I think you'll be okay. If I can stay out of it, so can you. This week, you're teaching classes, so it's a fun week, though. Hey, when are you teaching classes on your Twitch stream, huh? When are you going to be a teacher again? Teach us some shit. And don't be too worried about it. This isn't exactly normal. He smiled reassuringly as you felt a little better. Admittedly, Cove had not told you too many horror stories about his job. Maybe this really was just an unusual argument. Oh. Cove's eyes grew wide and then drifted off. His mind was clearly elsewhere. Speaking of work, I gotta get back to it. That's what I'm doing right now. Yeah, I can tell. I know, you work here. Your shift's not over. He laughed at how easily your presence made him forget the situation at hand. Take a seat or wander around a little. Try not to disappear, though. I won't be too long. I just have a couple of things to take care of. You know you need to do some hacking lessons again? Yeah, teach me all the things. Teach me how to hack into my Instagram account and delete it. I'm still waiting for you to do that for me. Teach me how to hack into Instagram. He gave a significant look at the papers he had been sorting through before he had noticed you. Okay, I'll see you soon then. You cannot teach me that? I feel like you could. I feel like you could teach me that. You just don't want to admit that you will teach me that on air. on stream. Like I'm a radio show. You found a quiet table and waited. I mean, I could be a radio show. If you're not watching, you're just listening. Shout out to you. Shout out to you if you're just listening and you're not watching. It must be wild to hear me say some shit sometimes. If you're just listening. You in publicly denying this? Exactly. It's okay. You can publicly deny it, but in private, I'm gonna hit you up. You found a quiet table and waited. You sat at the table that already had a book and pursued it. I'm not gonna steal someone's book. Ooh, young adult section or the mystery novels? I don't want to do nonfiction. It's not that I don't like nonfiction books. It's just sometimes nonfiction gets a little bit too serious for me, and I'm like, yeah, no. Sometimes nonfiction is stranger than fiction. Let's go to the young adult section. Give us your best radio announcement. I don't fucking know how to do that. What am I gonna announce? How do you radio announcement? I don't listen to the radio. I don't listen to the radio, at least not on purpose. I have not listened to the radio in like forever. What is there to announce? There were many fantasy novels mixed in with the contemporary fiction. Sometimes while you were browsing, you would run into an older title that had once been in a children's section when you were little. Conversely, some books sounded more adult than others. I love the immediate panic. You know I'm nervous. You know I got anxiety. You know I'm shy. You don't put me on the spot like that. Don't do that to me. I need to change this. So when it says check out my card, I do have a card. I explained that earlier. Probably in Animal Crossing stream. I have a card, but it's not where my main socials are anymore. I mean, you can still find out some information from that, but my card isn't the main thing. I have a beacon site now, and I need to change that, so I wrote a reminder to change that. So I'll do that after stream. As promised, Cove swung by again. He stood up straight. The task The task that had been at hand completed. Since you had a moment together, you struck up a new conversation. How's it like working here? I would love to work at the library, if I'm being honest, but you need like a degree to be a librarian. And I'm sure they have like volunteers and stuff, but I don't want to be a volunteer. I want to get paid. You teasingly flirted with him. It feels really weird to see you on the job. So do people hit on you a lot while you're working? Do they hit on you? I would agree. Like, I think people would hit on you. Like, you're hot, you're smart. What else? What else is there to do? You leaned forward towards him, watching his reaction. He stuttered in bashful confusion. They actually have other jobs that aren't volunteer and aren't librarian at the library if you get lucky. Oh, that's a thing to do, maybe. Because there's a library in your guild's house. And I'm usually over here a lot, so I wouldn't mind. I can literally walk to the library. It's so close. I don't know. How would I even tell? He ducked his face down and he tried not to laugh. Cove could be very dense when it came to that. I mean, same. I do get catcalled a lot, though. Like, I wouldn't say people would, like, try to flirt with me. If they think catcalling is flirting, then sucks to them, because I ignore it. I will not give you the time of day. You're not going to shout at me. You're not going to shout at me expecting to stop for you. No. You have burnt every library card you've ever been at. You've burnt every library. How have you burnt every library you've ever been at? Ack, go to sleep. It's nap time. It's nap time for you. He took a second think, and when he raised his head, he was suddenly smirking. Oh, Casanova over here. I mean, I may not know if people have flirted with me exactly, but there are a few people who sort of shot past that. Oh, interesting. Continue. I've had requests to just directly be somebody's new boyfriend and some other stuff that was weirder. Does that count? Who's asking you to be their boyfriend, first of all? You couldn't stop yourself from laughing that time. You were annoyed to hear it went that far. Good for you. What kind of weirder stuff, actually? I want to know. I'm not telling. Dang. Dang is correct. I want to know. Tell me all the weirdness. You got catcalled a few times, but one was walking down the street and you'll never forget that. You felt very objectified. You know what? I would really love to know about the objectification that happened to you. What were you doing? What were you wearing, Ack? You check out books and forget they exist after you read them. Honestly, same. I had a dream that I checked out library books. I never brought them back. And actually that did happen. When I was younger, I went to the library and I took a book home and we never returned to the library. And then I moved and I found it. Like, we moved out of the state entirely and I found it and I was like, oh, huh. What a book. And I think I gave it to Goodwill. Because, like, what am I going to do with this? I can't return to this library. I don't live there anymore. I was a child. You're minding your own business. Just got out of work and was walking home. I get catcalled a lot at the treatment center I go to. And I'm like, can y'all chill? I am not interested. And I even wore rings on my fingers to, like, mimic that I was like married or engaged. And they don't care. They don't care. In a car, it was like 3 or 4 girls catcalled me and said things. And you're like, wow, that was a thing. That's crazy. That's so interesting. That's so crazy. I'm sorry you got catcalled. It's not fun. I'm minding my business. Leave me alone. Look, I'm wearing rings on my ring finger. I have a fake engagement ring. I have a promise ring that looks like a wedding band. And I'm like, you don't see this? You were not flattered. I'm not flattered either. I'm like, I have a whole ass boyfriend. I don't want to talk to you. Even if I didn't have a boyfriend, I wouldn't want to talk to you. Cove chuckled at your reaction. Like, like, you can't just catcall someone and think like, oh yeah, that person's definitely gonna talk to me. I mean, there's some girls that will do that, that will talk to you. But me, I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them. Do not try to talk to me at all. Don't approach me. Don't even approach me. If I'm looking at you and I look like a bitch, it's just because I have resting bitch face, but that means don't approach me either. Like, if I wanted you to talk to me, I would talk to you first. Oh, actually, you were suddenly reminded of your afternoon adventures back at Baxter's place. You don't have to talk about this. Cole doesn't used to know I was at Baxter's house. Remember the mean not grandparents I saw inside their home? Really? He looked amazed, like he was just barely containing himself from peppering you with questions. Suddenly, a thought hit him like a brick. Wait. He settled down immediately. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. The new person staying there is really, really, welcoming. You overheard someone sounding frustrated as they couldn't find a specific book. Cove turned his head towards them without pause, his customer service smile already on his face. Oh my gosh. That's one thing I wouldn't like about going, like, working in, like, public spaces, because I don't want to talk to people. You know what I love doing? I love organizing shit. I love putting things in alphabetical order. I would rather do that all the time than have to do customer service. I don't want to do it. I can do stock. It's not too heavy. I can do it. He gave you a quick nod and then headed over, disappearing into the labyrinth of shelves. It was a shame your conversations were so brief, but what else could you expect when he was on the clock? Seeing Cove acting so mature was different. He was like a real adult and giving service with a grin, at least when he remembered he was supposed to be working. Sorry, I had to take a little water break. You were proud of him, you felt a little awkward, like you weren't keeping up with him. You were sad at the reminder you really were becoming adults. You found it hard to believe his crybaby self had come so far. You didn't know how to feel. I did feel a little awkward. I feel like I'm not keeping up with him. You were very aware of the fact you didn't have a job. It made you worry that you were missing something, that you were some spoiled child. Cove was on his way to joining the adult world. Meanwhile, you were in the same place. You decided to walk around the shelves a little and explore. Every so often, you'd see Cove. He'd be reshelving books or helping people find what they needed. He was good at that. Always calm and quiet, enough for the library. He took small moments to talk with you every so often or smile in your direction. Eventually, it seemed like it was time for some kind of book club. The library lobby flooded with people, all clutching their copies of what you guessed was a satirical fantasy book. Cove got busier himself, pulling out chairs and arranging the area. You made the call that it was time to head out, since he'd have to be occupied for a while with all of that. Why did he tell me to come to this library if he's not going to talk to me? He glanced over at you after he nudged a fake plant over to make room for another chair. You waved at him from near the front entrance. He frowned, but then switched back right to a smile. He gave a quick wave before turning back to the book club event. You grinned, you sighed, you shrugged. I sigh. I sigh. Cove's job wasn't the best place to socialize with him, unfortunately. Wordlessly, you ambled back outside into the parking lot. The evening sun was warming your skin while you were taking the trip back home. You heard the quiet jingle of your phone and stopped on the sidewalk. Why am I not just hanging by his car? I would just be hanging by his car. I would not be going home. Then you pulled it out to check. It was from Mom. Would you mind stopping by the grocery store on your way home to pick up some asparagus and peppers for dinner tomorrow? No. I'm not eating that, so I'm not picking it up. Can't make it myself. Deadlines are tight right now. What does my mom even do for work? Thank you and have a great day. Did we ever find that out? We probably did, and I just forgot because I'm dumb. You sighed, you shook your head from frustration, you shrugged, you didn't mind the request, you were happy to do it. I'm sorry. I'm just full of sighs today. Well, the request could have been worse. It was still just another thing piled on your plate. Your limbs instantaneously felt heavier and lethargic. After taking a couple of deep breaths, you sent back a simple response. Okay. You weren't expecting her to text back anytime soon, though you did already get a thanks for it. Your phone remained grasped in your hand as you grew lost in your thoughts. Everyone was busy working nowadays. The only other person who wasn't was Liz, and you had no idea how long before that changed. Doesn't she have to go back to school? You were glad that you hadn't had to get a job yet. It was frustrating how you hadn't found a job that fit yet. You were terrified that one day it'd be up to you to support yourself. Honestly, this is a very real fear that I have. You were curious about working full-time would be like. It was exciting imagining what your own future would be like. You were aiming to make it without working a typical job. Honestly, I like this one, but I'm definitely terrified of this one. My dream job is to be a trophy wife. That's my dream job. I do not dream of labor. I do not. But if I have to work, then I want to do Twitch full time. If I have to work. The inevitability sat on your chest like a crushing weight. You weren't sure how to even overcome it. This was a very real very real fear for me when I was this age, and it's still a very real fear for me now, because I am disabled. The rest of your life was waiting ahead of you. You knew that. You imagined you'd likely end up trying out several jobs, but before any of that could happen, you needed to take that first step. You sighed. It always felt too big, though. You wondered if it was like that for everyone. You were still inside of your head when another message came through. Looking at your phone, you saw that it was Cove this time. Mine too. Is that a real fear for you, Ak? I mean, maybe, but your job is so stable. It's so stable for you. Can we hang out again? After I close at work this time, I could come to your house or something. Why would I tell him no? I'm gonna text why. Yeah, girl, let's go, yeah. A fond smile tight at the corner of your mouth when the next message arrived immediately. Awesome, thanks. Your dream job, your dream job is to be a trophy wife? Why not a trophy husband? Why don't you want to be a trophy husband? I could be a trophy spouse, because I do go by they, them pronouns sometimes, and sometimes maybe he, him. But you know what? I'm really trying to figure out my identity, and I don't really know what I want to do with that. I don't know about that, and I need to go to therapy and do some more therapy, some more hard looking into myself to figure out my true identity. Anyway, I do have therapy this week at Thursday. You were stuck with an idea as your fingers hovered to reply. You already agreed to run by the store today. You could meet Cove in town. Actually, I have therapy at 3 on Thursday. I do plan on streaming at 11. But after therapy, I could definitely stream again. No, I couldn't. I have to go home. I thought about that. I thought about it. I was like, I gotta go home Friday because that's when I'm having treatment. Actually, I'll meet you at work when you're done. I have to stay out running an errand anyways. Your job is stable as long as you don't make a mistake, I suppose. But have you made mistakes before? You sound so capable. Cool. I'll be here, obviously. See you later. I don't know how to make that noise. How do you make that sound? As a noise. If I make a mistake, you lose your job. Yeah, probably, maybe, but I doubt you will. You don't seem the type to make mistakes. You finally put your phone away. You realize then that you may not have enough time to get to the store and back before Cove was off. You needed to return to the library first. But what was done. To fill the little gap of space in between your new plans, you decided to sneak Cove more text. He was working. Yeah, sure. There's always a chance that he wouldn't respond until later, but he already messaged you before. It could be okay to keep going. I definitely text Gil whenever he was at work. I text him all the time. He would text me back like immediately sometimes. Like, you don't have to do that. But sometimes I did need him to text me back immediately. Because I've been having like small emergencies. You found a way to change the subject and waited to see what he'd do. Delighted, the jingling in your hand signaled he took the bait. You carefully continue your walk down the path, hand glued to your phone and a happy pep in your step. Cove texts as frequently as you imagined he could while still on the clock, telling you all about the various people he had interacted with today. Before long, the first part of the night was over, and it was nearing the end of Cove's shift. Luckily, you were almost back by then. Did I go to the store? What happened? As you approached the library building, you noticed a figure out front. It was Cove. His silhouette was instantly recognizable, even in the dim light of the parking lot. You could see he was smiling eagerly as you got closer. He had been waiting for this. You shot him a smile in return. You waved. Let's go kiss him. Smooch. You bounded through the final steps to reach Cove and planted a kiss right on his face. It was too fast for him to respond, but he chuckled approvingly. Good. Hello again. Hi, princess. His initial excitement at your arrival deflated quickly. Oh, why? What happened? Cove stopped being able to meet your eyes as he spoke more. I'm sorry for earlier. When you were visiting, wasn't very exciting, was it? Babes, you're literally at work. Work should not be that exciting. Like, it is okay. I hope I wasn't wasting your time. What is wrong with you, Cove? I figured we wouldn't be chatting much while you were working, Cove. It's never a waste to see you. It did feel kind of pointless. I would never say that. Why did you want me to come in the first place? I mean, I am curious, but Cove, it's never a waste to see you. Oh? His smile reemerged, though only slightly, then he continued his thought. It's just, with all the shifts I've been doing lately, I want to have you around some more. That's really all. It was to make my day better. Aww, I make your day better. Aww. But it's not like working has to be a good time. And there's better things you could have been doing than watching me do stuff at a distance. That's okay, there's nothing wrong with wanting some support. Thanks for talking to me about this. What a precious man you are. I'm flattered. What a precious man you are. You nodded, taking his words. You're so precious. Princess. Cove dramatically scrunched his face at your embarrassing praise of him. You did the best to hide your prior unhappiness and gave Cove a smile. I was unhappy? I don't remember being unhappy, but okay. It didn't pass by Cove, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm fine, dude. He shot back sternly. No, you're not. I'm good. I'm okay. It's not anything you did to me. I get what you were trying to do. Then what is it actually? I'm confused. Is anyone else confused? Because the vibes that I'm getting, it's confusion. I'm very confused right now. Then what is it actually? Your shoulders slumped. He clearly wasn't going to let it go. I've been thinking about how I don't have a way to support myself. Oh, yeah. When he began to speak once more, his words were crushingly soft, almost a whisper. All of this is really hard. I don't know what to do to make it okay. You don't have to change the world for me. It'd be nice if you could, though. He managed a meek smile. I could still try. We both try, and hopefully we'll make it work. Or not even hopefully. We just will. We only don't know how yet. His attempt at encouragement was nice, even if you weren't sure how confident you still were. You were still. Thanks, Cove. I love how my voice feels deeper than his actual voice. But I don't know how to, make his voice. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how. I'm not good. Cove reached out for you, and you leaned into it. He gently held you against him as you relaxed against his body. It was comforting. What was that errand you talked about before? Are you still doing that? Yeah. Would you want to come too? I guess I didn't. I guess I didn't go to the grocery store. It was late and you knew that Cove wanted to go home, but admittedly, you wanted company. He eased that concern by smiling softly. Sure, yeah, I can go shopping with you. You walked, right? Mm-hmm. Want me to drive you? Of course I want you to drive me. What a silly question. Yes, that would make things a lot easier. No problem. It's nice of you to do this. I like spending time with you. Thanks. I like that too. Moments later, Cove had things together and you were both ready to swing by the store. Cove pulled into one of the many free parking spots at the neighborhood 24-hour grocery store. There's a 24-hour grocery store? Maybe like a superstore, but I still don't even think those are 24 hours. That's crazy. It's a 24-hour grocery store. The only store here that I think is 24 hours is like fast food restaurants and CVS. Car doors were popped open and you got out at the same time. There was a salty smell in the air as the two of you strolled through the dim parking lot. The local burger joint on the other side of the pavement guaranteed the place always smelled like fries. Ooh. Popcorn, french fries. What the fuck is that? That's not a french fry. What is that? Your eyes went out at the change of lighting when you made it inside the building. The automatic door shut behind you. With you truly having arrived, Cove raised his brow curiously. What are we here for again? Asparagus and peppers. It's something for mom. My moms are making tomorrow. And I ain't eating that shit, so we need snacks too. Sounds good. This will be a short trip. No, it won't be. Uh-huh. You idly scanned the front room. The front room? Interesting. For a basket you could use. A full cart wasn't necessary. You felt responsible, having your parents rely on you. You were already looking forward to tomorrow's dinner. It was overwhelming how much you had to take care of. You couldn't stand the thought of making it longer. What do you mean? You couldn't stand the thought of making it longer. Making what longer? This trip? That was all there was to it? Sure. This was a simple stop that you weren't thinking much about. You spotted the baskets and caught a glimpse of Cove's full appearance while looking down to pick one up. It is kind of weird to see you dressed in a uniform in a different store. Different store? Are we calling the library as a store? Because libraries aren't stores. Cove sniff. See, this is the word. Earlier, they should have put the CK, but they put the GG, and now it's... You see what I mean? If you were here earlier in my stream, that's the word they should have used, but no, they used a different word. Cove chuckled while sliding up beside you. I'm not taking any more chances. I'm not. Right? It's like I'm wearing a costume after Halloween is over, but I just hope no one thinks I work here. The uniform is totally different, but you never know. I mean, plenty of people go shopping in their uniforms. Basket in hand, you ambled towards the vegetable section. It was set near the back, but visible right from the entrance. Cove matched your pace, keeping at your side. Around this age is when I worked at a grocery store, so I do have PTSD for grocery stores. I've gotten better, though. I'm not completely hopeless in a grocery store anymore. The asparagus was simple enough to select. You simply picked up a bundle that looked fresh. All that was left was the peppers. There was a wrinkle in that plan. What color did they want? I don't give a fuck. Get the bundle that's all 3 peppers. What do you mean? She didn't say. Then what are we gonna do? The color definitely matters. Just get all 3. No, it doesn't matter. We'll have to get one of every color. I'll text my mom real quick to ask. She left it out. That means I get to make the call. I don't know. What do you think? Let's just get one of every color. That way I don't have to hear shit. He nodded, satisfied with your solution. I was thinking the same thing. Sorry about the nose sniffles. I don't know what it is, but I just have them all the time. So you and Cove meticulously went down the row of pepper pallets. Green, yellow, red, orange, and even a multicolor peppers got placed in the basket. That's too many. That's too many. We don't need all of those. You worked as a team to be certain nothing was missed. Produce acquired, all that was left was to go through the line, but as you approached the cash registers, Cove stopped in his tracks. Oh, while we're here, I want to get something too. I need fruit for breakfast tomorrow. Do you? But what should I have? Eat a banana. I don't care. He glanced back unsurely at the selection you just left. Didn't we just go to the farmer's market? Whatever it is, you better hurry, because I'm getting in line. Cove, you have plenty of time for that before we were leaving. I can go back with you. Let's go back. I'll go with you. I love you. That coaxed a small smile from Cove. His tension eased. Thanks, princess. And sorry. It's fine. We can take a little more time to do this. It's not like the lines are popping or anything. It's okay. They'll be fine. Cove gratefully led you back to the fruit stands. What time does the library close? Like 9? I feel like the library closes at like 8 or 9. So if you're closing the shift, it's probably like 9 o'clock right now. Who's doing shopping at 9 besides like people who get off around 9? Like, be for real. The lines are not popping. It's no holiday happening. You're okay. He let his eyes wander across all the options, seriously considering his decision. Not bothering to rush, you walked up and down the produce aisle for a second time that trip. Girl, go get you something else. Finally, something caught his attention. Transparent cases containing fresh blueberries. Cove grinned. That's it. It'll be perfect for tomorrow. Great. Despite the suddenness of how it happened, you were genuinely glad Cove was able to get something nice for himself during the visit to the store. It made the trip even more worthwhile. Cove carried his food himself, and the two of you went back to get a spot in line. After that, you completed separate orders for what you were getting. The produce was packed away into paper bags. There was one for you and one for Cove. You both had what you needed in hand. The errand was finished. You walked across the length of the store to reach the doors closest to where you were parked. You and Cove stepped back into the night. Oh, hey, this is the grocery store? This whole time this was the grocery store. It's a small-ass grocery store for being 24 hours. Interesting. Cove lightly swung his bag back and forth in his grip as you peered squinting into the dark parking lot. He smiled slightly, a gentle expression on his lips. Thanks for inviting me to the grocery store. You're welcome. You don't have to thank me for that. Thanks for keeping me company. Thank my mom for sending me out to do this. You're welcome. I'm not gonna say you're welcome. Thanks for keeping me company. You're welcome. We should do this again. Sure. We should do this again. After a moment of walking further into the parking lot, he sighed mildly. As nice as Cove was about this, he had to be tired after working a full shift. It's been a long day. Yeah. That very brief exchange really summed it up. Cove shook his head to himself, bemusement replacing his worn-down expression. When did a busy day go from having way too many ways we wanted to play or having some extra homework, to having to spend all day at a job and then running errands after. It'd be like that. That's just adulthood. I don't know when we became grown-ups. I don't know, but it sucks. Hey, it's still better than high school. You didn't have to answer. When we became grown-ups, this is a true adult. Oh my gosh. One of the pop-up thingies on like the taskbar showed up and it scared me. This is the true adult experience, working, buying food, and then squeezing in human interaction while you're doing other productive stuff. It sure fucking is. It's never ending. It's work, chores, food, sleep, and that's all you really got. That's all you really got. Well, I guess kid me did always think older people spent their lives at their jobs. I was right all along. He laughed and you had to agree. Cole's eyes narrowed as his mouth opened slightly. He was having a thought. Your moms need this stuff for tomorrow's dinner, but not tonight, right? Uh-huh. And nothing's frozen, so you don't need to get home urgently or anything. Would you want to go across the parking lot to get to that fast food place? We could get something, bitch. Of course. Of course. Are you treating? You know, it's still open. Doesn't matter how late it is. It might be nice. You perked up at the suggestion. It sounded like fun. Are you buying? Am I buying? Are we splitting it? Alright, let's go for it. Let's drop the groceries off. Then we can go. You agreed, and Cove strolled over to the cars, buoyed at the thought of something to look forward to. He placed his bag in the back of his car and then let you store yours inside as well. With the groceries taken care of, it was a short walk to the burger joint. There were 3 cars lined up in the drive-thru, which wasn't too bad. Ooh. New background. You had to go all the way around the building to get to the front entrance, but soon you were under another set of bright fluorescent lights. Luckily, there was no line inside the building, so you stepped right up to the counter. You glanced over the menu. You remembered eating here before with Cove, back when Kyra had taken you both years ago. The menu looked pretty much the same from what you could remember. I mean, we weren't inside, we were in the drive-thru. We went through the drive-thru and we ordered everything on the menu. It was missing the mozzarella sticks, but most of the other items were familiar. The mozzarella sticks? I want mozzarella sticks. Guys, I don't have mozzarella sticks. Hello, what would you like to order? Yes, hello, I would like one of everything on your dessert menu. One of everything. Okay, big shot. You burst out laughing. You gave him a, are you serious? Like, hey, you stole my order. Good idea. You kept straight face. It didn't surprise you. Buddy, why are you getting everything? He brushed a hand against the back of his head, and his polite smile for the employee bent. Mom rubbed off on me. I bet she did. He was reminiscing on that visit too. After the cashier made sure Cove was being serious, it was your time to order. You got... What'd I get? Okay, I know what I want. I want nuggets. Do I want onion rings or do I want french fries? You know what, let's get french fries because they're less stinky. Let's get a soda. And do I want a treat? I can just eat, what's his name? Cove. Oh my gosh, how did I forget his name already? And that was all. I'll just take some of Cove's dessert. Cove gave you a little thumbs up. He wasn't the only one indulging. What do you, that's not indulging, that's a value meal. That's a meal. That is the meal you get at fast food restaurants. What do you mean? I'm not overindulging. You wrapped up the ordering process, paid, got the number 264, then claimed a table. You sat down across from Cove, oh my gosh. You sat down across from Cove in a booth where you had a good view of the front counter. It was nice to have the pick of the place. Thanks for doing this, Cove. I'm looking forward to this. Too bad the mozzarella sticks are gone. Too bad. Too bad. Oh, I didn't even notice. I wonder when they got rid of them. Why did they get rid of them? Why did they pay me so? But neither of you had an answer to that question. Then you took out your phone to text your moms about your delay home. You didn't want them to worry. Fuck them. Fuck my moms. I'm joking. Cove watched you before pulling out your phones as well, maybe for the same reason you did. When the updates were sent, it was back to being just you and your neighbor once more. Neighbor? Why am I calling him that? I mean, yeah, he is, but that's my boyfriend. He offered you a small smile. I've missed you, you know? Even if you weren't ever really gone, it's been less time than I'm accustomed to. Cove tapped his fist on the table definitely. Definitively? I think that's definitively. He paired that action with a childish pout. Not him pouting. If someone saw him like that, they might assume he was throwing a fit over not getting the toy that came with a kid's meal. They should let me be able to get a kid's meal. Maybe I want a kid's meal. Maybe I don't want all this food. I felt the same way. I'm really glad we're doing this. We demand more time with each other. You're really cute. You're so spoiled. You chuckled at his mini tantrum. You're really cute. Thanks. He beamed at you sincerely, a ray of sunshine in his late-night food trip. When the number was called, Cove hopped up from his seat before you could react. I got it. Save for spot. Alright, see you. I'm helping get that. You're not in your agreement? Shake your head no. You know what? Sure. I'll wait here. Why not? I don't feel like getting up. You stayed in the booth and got situated for the arrival of all the stuff. You checked over the table and moved your phone to the side to make sure there was a clear space. Cove returned with 2 trays in hand, a great bounty of food. He placed them down carefully, being extra cautious with the tray that held his milkshake. I'm back. I can see that. Thank you for carrying all that, Cove. It's no problem. Look at him. He's so cute. He got some big-ass eyes. Or maybe those are just the glasses. Cove didn't hesitate before digging in. He took a large bite of his cookie and immediately sipped his milkshake. I don't see a cookie. I see a pie. I see a sundae. I see a milkshake. His tummy's gonna hurt. My tummy would be hurting, but that's because I'm lactose intolerant. I don't know if Cove is. Then he took a spoon and sampled his sundae with an approving hum. He made an attempt to follow that up with a bite of his apple pie as well, but bailed with a distressed look on his face. You tilted your head in a silent question. Hot. He switched back to the milkshake, taking a dedicated slurp. Cove sighed at the cool relief it brought. You also started to taste yours. It really wasn't bad. Taste what? I didn't get a milkshake. I got a soda. In only a minute, Cove's cookie was gone. You wouldn't be surprised if the milkshake wasn't far behind. Darn. I missed out on my chance to get a cookie. You smelled as he enjoyed himself. You flicked a straw wrapper at Cove. You teasingly offered to feed him his remaining treats. I'm definitely gonna flick a straw wrapper at him. That's just me. You found the paper started from the straw Cove used for his milkshake. You squished it into a little ball while he was distracted and then very deliberately launched it at Cove. Your aim was true. It hit him square in the nose. Ugh, bless. I got good aim in this game. He didn't even flinch. Too used to your violent straw wrapper way. Waves, no, not this being canon. I mean, it is. I do that to Gil. He casually reached down with his free hand and tossed the paper ball back at you. You sputtered when it hit you on the top of your head and bounced away. You scrabbled to grab it from where it fell in your booth and threw it back at him. He chuckled and lobbed the tiny ball in a return pass. You felt so glad Cove agreed to come along with you on your initial grocery trip, and equally happy you accepted his invitation here. A little time off your feet, a little something to eat, you felt more energized than before. You continued to chat, mess around, laugh, and enjoy yourselves. For the first time that night, you felt like you weren't totally grown up after all. What a cute moment. Okay, it's 3:38. Do you think we have enough time for another thing? Because I gotta get off at 5. You know what? We're gonna do another thing. We're gonna do talks. Because I need to go at 5, but if you can read by. If we can do this fast enough, I can make it off before then. Another placid summer was drifting by. Your dreams were chasing each other, none sticking around long enough to become a firm plan. But you didn't really mind that right now. A tapping worked its way into those dreams. Focusing more, you realized it was coming from your window. A grin popped on your face as though it had been waiting all day for this moment. Heading to the window, you could see Cove outside. His habit of climbing this way really was a true Coveism. He'd rather scale your house than wait the couple extra minutes for you to come down. He's crazy. You stood aside to give him space. You held a hand out to him. I'm gonna hold his hand, obviously. You offered Cove a hand to help him. Once he was mostly inside, he took it to help study the last bit of his entrance. He needed the help, despite how many times he'd done this. You know what? Have my parents not ever said anything about this? Did they not see this giant man scaling their house, ever? Hey, princess. Hey to you. You think my mom should invest in some bigger windows? Cove laughed at that and took one last look at his exclusive entrance. He hummed with a teasing look on his face. Maybe. Cove's voice came out quietly with a strange pleased smile on his face. Did something happen? Cove opened his mouth to answer, only to have your phone ringing cut him off. You both turned to where it was rested a little further up your bed. It was still face down, so you couldn't tell who was calling. It's okay. Your attention shot back to Cove. He smiled at you awkwardly. Go check. It could be important. I'll wait. First of all, I would have checked my phone either way, so I don't need your permission. I don't need your permission, Cove. I can do what I want to do. Thanks. You shuffled forward and scooped the little noisemaker into your hand. You flipped it over and checked the caller ID. It's Miranda. Baby girl Miranda. You should answer it. I want to say hi too. With a nod, you accepted the call and set it to speaker. Hi, Miranda. Hi. There was something off about her tone. Cove met your gaze, and you saw the same confusion in his expression. Or did you hear about her from Cove? Huh? No. She hasn't called me, but Cove is with me right now. Hey. Oh, hi, Cove. Is that what you were going to say? He shook his head no, before realizing that it wasn't a good enough answer when one person couldn't actually see it. No, Terry hasn't called me today either. Is something wrong? At that, Miranda couldn't hold herself together any longer. The muffled sobs from the other side of the line were unmistakable. Did she die? What's wrong? Terry doesn't like me anymore. If she ever did, what the fuck happened? What? What is happening today? That doesn't sound right. You're probably her best friend out of all of us. Yeah, why do you think that? She sniffled, and there was a pause as you could hear her shift the phone to her other hand. Terry was here the other night watching movies with me. We were up super late. She realized her parents probably went to bed, so they couldn't pick her up. My mom and dad were definitely asleep then. Dad worked early. I tried telling her it was okay to just spend the night, and she could text her parents what happened, but Terry really didn't want to. Oh, that's interesting. Why? Why not? You glanced at Cove. He looked equally unsure as you about where the story was going. It didn't sound like a friendship ending situation. I suggested things to make it easier if she was nervous, like she could sleep by herself in my room while I stayed somewhere else. Yeah? And I said we didn't have to sleep at all. We could have kept watching movies until one of our parents woke up. I wouldn't have minded. I know not everyone can do sleepovers, but Terry wouldn't even tell me what was really wrong or what I could do to help. I thought we could tell each other anything. I guess I was wrong. Did she stay in the end? No. We got too loud in the kitchen and my dad woke up. He offered to drive her home when he heard what was wrong. She texted me apologizing for my dad having to do that when he needed to rest, but that was it. She isn't talking to me anymore. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy, girl. You can hear every bit of the tears and heartbreak in Miranda's voice. This continued to be a shock for your neighbor. Cove recovered and spoke gently. I'm really sorry. There's no way Terry wanted to make you feel this bad, or that she's just done with your friendship because of this. What I'm getting at here is giving lesbians. It's giving lesbians. And what do we love? Lesbians. Miranda sniffing continued. You hope she had plenty of tissues handy. It'll be okay. I hope Terry's alright. It's really weird she reacted like that. It's not a big deal, honestly. You weren't sure what to say. You know what? I'm not sure what to say to this. Girl, continue venting. I'm here if you need me. The thoughts in your head were spinning. This wasn't like Terry, at least not that you'd seen. Your guts churned as you wondered who to worry more about. Miranda's voice sounded a little more collected after finishing her story, but you knew that the crime was far from being done. I thought she'd have reached out to one of you by now. Maybe she's not talking to anyone. Yeah. Sorry for bothering you and Cove about this. Hey, we're here for you. Right. You can tell us things. Thank you. Her shaking voice finally conveyed a little optimism, or at least relief that she wasn't dealing with it entirely on her own. If you do hear from her or anything, could you let me know if she's alright? We can. Thanks. Let's talk later, okay? Bye. 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 That didn't really seem like an especially productive point in the call, though you also weren't sure where to go from there. Looking to Cove, his face seemed as lost as yours. With no alternative, you hung up and put your phone back on your bed. Cove crossed his arms, a frown creasing his face. He began to pace the length of your room, clearly trying to put the pieces together in his head in a way that made sense. You were worried, you felt pretty confident about this working out well. It sounded like trouble to you. You weren't sure how to react. I'm worried. I want you to know, I have not processed a single thing I've been reading. But I'm gonna be worried anyway, because why not? Anxiety. Biting the inside of your cheek, you stared at the ground. Hearing Miranda so distraught like that was not easy. And what about Terry? The uncertainty was tearing you up. So what got you into the game? Actually, there was a Steam sale last year, and I think it was for story-driven games. And I love dating sims personally, and I saw this, and it was on sale, and it was like a good sale. And I was like, why not? Why not buy this? It looks cute. I don't really know what this is about, but it looks interesting. And I played it a little bit by myself. And I was like, yeah, this game is so fucking cute. I gotta stream this shit. And what am I doing now? Streaming this shit. What got you into the game? The empty state of your head before learning this was not helping you now. You couldn't put two thoughts together, and flopping back on your bed, you stared into space. You should probably try calling Terry. Cole's voice managed to drag you back to some grounding. He stopped pacing, but you still saw a perturbed look on his face. Yeah, I'm worried about her too. You think here's another sale going on for it? Is there another sale going on? I think there's doing a spring sale for on Steam. I think it's the 14th through, or is it the 18th through the 20 something. I don't know. There might be another sale going on. If I was gonna buy anything, there's other games that I want to get on sale. But I don't have the funds. I don't have the funds to do that. I've allocated funds, and I need to save up some money because there's other things that I want to do, like upgrade my setup and everything like that, get a new capture card, get new overlays. Not that I don't want these overlays, but I want personalized overlays and all that good jazz. You bounced up and moved to his side, ready to act on whatever plan you two could come up with. Cove started with the easiest thing. He pulled out his phone and called Terry. You saw it in Itch.io and loved the cute style and saw it on Steam and got it there. Interesting. I don't go on Itch.io that much, or mostly at all, unless it's something that I was trying to get and it's on Itch.io. Like, when I was using VideoTube and when I was downloading Wicked Wins, yes, I use Wicked Wins on The Sims 4. And that's why I don't stream The Sims 4. Cove let it ring and ring and ring and ring. Terry didn't answer. There wasn't even an option to leave a voicemail. Your shoulders slumped, and Cove looked even more troubled. If that was possible, he turned to you as if for some lifeline. I mean, there's a lot of demos and such on Itch.io, so it's definitely a good place to check out demos and things like that. But I don't think to do that. My brain does not go there immediately. Could you try calling? I'm gonna send a text just like, hey, I was trying to reach you, call me, or something. Yeah. You took your phone out once more. Unfortunately, another set of interminable rings. The line went dead. No answer, no voicemail. Hanging up, you saw Cove visibly deflate. As he rubbed his arms, eyes distant, openly struggling with the whole affair. I don't like this at all. They're fighting. We barely know anything. And we're supposed to just wait and see? Yeah, no one can get a hold of Terry. Despite it only being a minute since he texted Terry, Cove checked his phone again. He was desperate for progress, for something, and you found as you watched him. You need to relax. You're making me anxious. There's no way Terry has answered you. They're gonna get over it, you know. You stayed silent. You need to relax. You need to relax, buddy. Cove stared hard at the screen. That's like such a bad thing to ever say to one. You need to relax. You need to chill out. You should be supportive. You should be like, yeah, this is crazy right now. I see what you're going through. But let's take some space to breathe. Cove stared hard at the screen as though he was trying to will a new message to appear. As your words sank in, his gaze slid over towards you. Just a little bit? Come on, you're working yourself up. Closing his eyes, he took a deep breath and released it slowly. It wasn't much, but you could see him ease up slightly. Yeah, you're probably right. Cove was still gripping his phone with both hands as though it might fly away if he let go. He looked at you with almost painful earnestness. What do we even say if we ever do hear from one of them? His pacing resumed as he attempted to answer his own question, but this was written all over his face that he had no idea how to tackle any of this. Slowly, he came to another halt, like a gear winding down. We should find out Terry's side of the story. We should just comfort Miranda and let up with Terry. I don't know. We should only tell them to work it out between themselves. I wonder why you always have to come up with things. Honestly, we should find out Terry's side of the story. Nothing could be done. I mean, we should, but will we? I don't know, because Terry's not answering us. We could just pop over to her house, maybe. Nothing could be done until you knew what she thought of this. That much was certain. Cove nodded slightly in agreement. For several minutes, you both remained there in silence, drowning in your thoughts. Eventually, Cove turned around. I'm gonna text Terry that we already know what's going on. Maybe she'll have an easier time talking to us because she won't have to pretend or explain. Yeah, that might be the only way to get her attention. You can't do that. Miranda didn't say it was alright to admit she talked to us. You felt way too overwhelmed to know what to say next. I think you're pushing too much. That's not a good idea, Cove. Not at all. Why are you fixated on this? I mean, that's a great question. Why are you fixated on this? But no. Yeah, you know what? Do it. Do it. Oh my gosh, can you go away? With the two of you on the same page, he stilled his gaze to prepare for taking this next step. Cove's fingers worked furiously, yet carefully. He was giving his full attention to his words. You sidled up next to him and looked, trying to watch what he was writing. Cove rapidly typed out, "Hey, Princess and I really want to talk to you. Miranda told us what happened. Please reply back." Instant, it was done. We'll just have to see what happens now. Quietly, you felt nervous. I wish you weren't so concerned with everyone else's feelings but mine. Oh my gosh, now me being jealous. Let them be alright, Cove. Things are okay. Yeah, hopefully she gets back to us pretty soon. Great, can we do something else now? You're being dramatic. I'm not gonna say that. What is happening over here? Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. That's what's happening. Great. Great. Love it. Me too. From just his face, you could tell that wasn't going to do much for him. He was going to be stuck thinking about this until Terry replied. A small noise escaped his lips. All the frustration at the situation crumbled away from his face, and he spoke softly. Thanks, Princess. I'm glad it's not just me with all this happening. Cove took one last look at his phone and then put it away. His effort at a smile was meager but earnest. We can just forget about it for a while. Terry will talk to us when she wants to. Exactly. You smile just a little bit. Finally, that sounds good to me. I'd like to be alone for a while. Could you leave? You simply nodded back. I'm not kicking him out. Sounds good to me. And you meant it, exhaling some of your own concern away. The last thing you wanted was to fight with Cove. Yeah, I never want to fight with Cove. The sun stretched on in what felt like hours, but it likely wasn't that long before there was a knock at your bedroom door. Mom peeked in. Just want to check in on you. Oh, Cove, when did you get here? When she saw you were there, she opened the door all the way. Mom was standing there as well. She slipped past her wife to come inside your space. What's going on? Why do not Mom, but Ma, she looks so scary. I don't know what about, it's her eyes, I think it's her eyes. Maybe it's because they're yellow. When I think of yellow eyes, I think predator. Those are predator eyes she has, but she's not a predator. They're just yellow. It's scary. They're like golden. I feel like she's gonna steal my soul or something. We're okay. It's just, Miranda called earlier. She and Terry are fighting, but none of us know what's going on with Terry. Your parents exchanged a meaningful look, though its meaning was lost on you. That's too bad. I'm sorry there's trouble with your friend, sweetie. Is there anything you can do to help? Out of the corner of your eye, you saw Cove rub his arm awkwardly, unable to add anything. No, we're just waiting to see if Terry calls or texts, or if Miranda does. Well, we can at least help you take your mind off things while you're waiting. Another great idea, Lonnie. We can get the whole gang together for some quality time. The whole gang. Mom gave you a soft smile and added, what is happening? This will be good, especially since it might help make up for what happened at the farmer's market. Oh, okay. Yes, it'll be wonderful. I'll go see what Liz is up to right now. Excited, she fluttered a few steps away, then stopped. She pivoted on her heels and raised a single finger, flashing a big smile at Cove. And of course, Cove will be welcome too. Cliff, sorry. I saw C and I was like, Cove. And of course, Cliff will be welcome too. Knowing your family was always there for you, that couldn't be underestimated. In fact, it meant everything to you that your moms cared so much. I really appreciate this. Thank you. Yeah, thanks. That's nice of you. You're both very welcome. Don't sweat it, not so kiddos. Leave things to us. Just relax and we'll call you when it's all together. You nodded and your moms dispersed for now, springing into action for their impromptu get-together. You flopped down on your bed, feeling like you could sink into it and disappear. Cove, meanwhile, took a spot on the chair off to the side. You sighed at the same time, and Cove's mouth pulled into a bent smile at that. He gave his phone another quick check and his eyebrows furrowed. Still nothing? Yep. This is crap, huh? Yep. Cove chewed the inside of his cheek as if to mimic the stress that was clearly eating away at him. Cove, what's wrong? What's really wrong? One disagreement doesn't make you act like this. That got a pointed pause in his movement. Cove was carefully trying to put his thoughts together. He spoke in a fragile voice. When people you care about, when they're unhappy with each other, there's nothing you can do. At least when you're in a fight yourself, you have some responsibility, some control over it all. Sir, are you making it seem like your friends are getting a divorce? Sometimes friendships just happen to end, okay? Sometimes they just happen to end. I wish it didn't have to happen, but this isn't possible. So, oh well, I guess. His attempt at giving a nonchalant shrug after that was pitiable. Yeah, it makes me feel horrible too. True, but you're right, it can't be helped. It's whatever. Other people can do what they want, right? You stayed silent. True, but you're right, it can't be helped. He replied like he could barely muster the strength to speak. Well, we just have to focus on things we can impact, or at least try. You turned to Cove, hoping your eyes conveyed the message you were feeling better than your words. His gentle nod told you that they did. But is it because of what happened with your parents? You reflected on everything you had learned about Mr. Holden, Kyra, their relationship, and their son. They went through a lot. Cove ran a hand through his hair, a stray smile spreading across his lips. For him, this pain struck close to his heart. Just as quickly as it had come, his smile was gone, lost amidst his faraway gaze. Faraway, far away. Yeah, you know what happened. It's like my parents. He whispered his thoughts distantly, almost concerned with whether you could hear them or not. They used to fight all the time. Babe, this is completely different from this. I understand that you have trauma, but this is completely different from friends fighting to your parents fighting. I'm sorry, princess. It's okay. Cove gazed reassuringly at you. It's not like that anymore, right? Things are so different now. Better. I don't even really think about it. Again, sorrow reasserted itself. When he continued, you could barely hear him. Though, I guess it's pretty obvious I haven't forgotten either. I mean, you were 8 when they divorced, so you definitely remember that. So it's not going to be super easy on you. You tried to smile for him, you crossed the room, it took his hand, you went over and placed a hand on his shoulder, you hugged him, you kissed him. Let's take his hand. Give me your hand. Stashing that shit up. He shot up out of his seat as you approached, but didn't resist as you gently took his hand. Your head fell on his shoulder, and you squeezed his hand reassuringly. You saw him watching you with glossy eyes. He stayed crying. We love a sensitive man. Then Cove sighed contentedly, his mouth pulling into a soft smile. Wordlessly, you knew that he understood. You felt at peace with him there. He gripped your hand back. You knew that he felt it too. The two of you took a seat again, but this time side by side on your bed. Today was a lot, huh? Was it? Was it a lot? I mean, maybe for you. Yeah, it was. It was not a lot for me. It's like a typical day in my real life. You sat there contentedly, you leaned against him, you caressed his hand, lean against him. Resting the side of your head onto his shoulder, you glanced up at his face. Cove watched you affectionately. In that gentle gaze, you finally felt like everything was going to be okay. No matter what happens, we can make it work. He's acting as if we are the ones that had a fight. This is why I'm confused. His mouth pulled into a bent smile at that. You chuckled, resting your head comfortably back on his shoulder. I think so too. He couldn't sit still anymore. It's that ADHD. Cove leaned in, delicately pressing his lips to your forehead, and he raised one free hand to lightly touch your jaw. The breath got caught in your throat. Oh? When you remembered to breathe, blood rushed to your face, turning your skin a deep red. Well, that's not gonna happen. My skin would not be a deep red. I mean, there might be some red to my cheeks. It's happened before, but a deep red? No. It's not on my skin tone. You tried to think about how hot you were feeling, because after everything that happened today, you were just grateful for the moment. And after a while you stayed like that, a comfortable quiet fell between you, and the sun fell with it. Hold on, where the fuck are my moms? Didn't they have like an activity planned? How long does it take to plan an activity? The warming calm ended when Cove gasped sharply. You spun, half expecting to find him nursing an injury, but instead found him staring straight ahead. What? I think my phone just vibrated. I think my phone just vibrated. Check it out. Right. He patted his pockets, fumbling in his panic, and yanked the phone out. The force of the action nearly catapulted the device out of his grip entirely, but he caught it just in time. Have you ever done that? Have you ever went to go grab your phone and then it immediately flies out of your hand? That happens to me a lot. His eyes honed in on the screen. It's Sari, thank God. She says she's sorry. He looked back at you, eyes wide at his nervous, oh my gosh, I did not say Siri, I said Terry. Calm down. He looked back at you, eyes wide as his nerves started to fray once more. What should I say? What do you mean, what should you say? You the one who texted her? Crazy? I don't know, give it a second, I need to think. Tell her to call us, ask her what's going on. After she's talking to Miranda, tell her to call us. Okay, we need the tea, we need the hot tea. He nodded and began typing. Cove was aware that his blunt words could sometimes make others bristle, even though he never meant them to hurt. Cove's phone buzzed nearly as soon as the message was sent. Ah, it's her again. She's talking to us. She asked about what Miranda said, but wait. You leaned in, watching the conversation unfold on Cove's screen. She's gonna actually call. Bless. I don't have time for all this chitter-chatter like this. Cove held his breath as you waited. His circle of friends had always been small, so he'd managed to avoid the stress of seeing friends fighting. I feel like that would make the fighting worse. Small group of friends, you're gonna see fighting all the time. You suspected he was feeling this even more keenly, both because this was so uncommon and the friends so important to him. His phone rang out. Cove jammed the answer button. He switched the phone into speaker mode, allowing to participate in the conversation. But despite his immediate reaction, his voice lacked the same resolve when he spoke. Hey. It was tentative, a white flag fluttering in the wind. Princess is here too. Hi, we've been worried about you. Hey, buddies. Terry's voice was barely recognizable without her usual quick pattern energy. I don't know. Probably not. Cove tensed, his free hand coiling to an anxious fist. What happened? Don't you know already? Miranda explained some of it, but it doesn't make sense to us. You heard Terry sigh over the phone as she unburdened herself. Pretty much, I was at Randy's house. We decided to watch some movies she super liked that I'd never even seen before. Turns out there's a lot of those. We watched one, then another, and another. We were having so much fun. Each time one finished, she had another one to share with me. I didn't really think about the time. I only wanted to say yes to Randy and watch her movies. This is seeming like lesbian behavior. Hold on, I need to drink some water. She spoke wistfully, but her words were full of affection. It was Randy, you know? I wasn't thinking about my schedule or what time it was. Oh, were you late for work? Did you miss work? Did you get fired? I get it. Then I finally saw the time and oh no, it was way too late. I already knew I couldn't stay. She took a deep breath, her voice becoming softer when she resumed talking. I was so stressed out. I just couldn't deal with it. Miranda wanted to help. She kept coming up with ways to make it better and trying to figure out why I was so upset and stuff. I was trying to answer her questions, and there were so many. I couldn't really answer all of them. I didn't even know why some of her ideas didn't work with me. It made my head ache. I still had the first problem, and Randy was there, trying to help, blasting all these questions and suggestions at me faster than I could even think. She gulped, audibly sniffling. I got frustrated and told her to just leave me alone, but then she wanted to talk about why I wanted that, and we started having a fight in the kitchen. It woke Randy's dad up. We told him about how I wanted to go home, but my parents couldn't get me, so Mr. Eckert offered to do it. That's nice of him. Terry groaned. I know. I accepted because I definitely couldn't stay then, not after throwing a racket and turning it into a big deal. But I feel awful and embarrassed. Why did I yell at Randy and hurt her feelings? And I made her dad lose sleep by waking up and having to drive me home. It's because you're in love with her. That's it. I understand. I get it. I've been in love with my best friend before. What do you say? What do you say after that? I have no idea. I don't know where to start. I don't want to make it worse by saying the wrong thing and fighting again. So, I'm not talking. Terry, Randy isn't mad that you didn't want to stay or you fought. She just wants to feel like you can talk to her. I mean, you can say whatever you want. She'll listen. Not talking to her at all is pretty much the only wrong way to do it. To go about it. That's what I meant to say. Terry lamented mournfully on the other end of the line, but he had a point. Unless she faced Miranda again, there would be no resolution. He looked at Cove, hunched over the phone, staring pensively into it and searching for a solution. This couldn't be solved with the other key part missing. But what if you brought them in? Your phone was still free. Oh my gosh, are we doing this? You suggested calling Miranda up. I'm not just gonna put her on the line. What if we called Miranda? That way you could talk to her, but wouldn't have to do it alone. Cove brightened up, the concerned furrow in his brow, which had taken root when Miranda first called, eased. That could work, Terry. Are you up for it? She made a noise that wasn't a word, but nevertheless conveyed her hesitation and worry. But she brought it to a close with a decisive exhalation, as if pushing all negative thoughts from her body. All right, I'll do it. Cove nodded. Now that you'd received approval from everyone, you pulled out your phone and called Miranda. You stood at the speaker and waited for her to pick up. Luckily, she did. Hi, Princess. Her voice was still distant, as if thoughts were elsewhere, but it was loud enough for your needs. Hi, you're on speaker. Terry's on speaker too. On Cove's phone. Oh! She paused while she digested this information. You watched the phone screen, hoping that she wouldn't hang up as a result. Oh, really? Yep, it's me. Can you hear my voice all the way from your house to theirs and then mine? I can. You and Cove exchanged looks, waiting for the wall between them to break and wondering who would be the one to do it. As the quiet dragged on, you caught Cove chewing his cheek. He must have weighed up the same question, whether to encourage the conversation along or leave Miranda and Terry to resolve it themselves. The answer came in the form of one sniff, followed by another, from Cove's phone. Sorry, Randy. I hope you still like me. What? You're the one acting as if you didn't like me. Her tone was defensive, no doubt a result of her wounds from last night still being raw. No way! Everyone likes Randy. Oh my gosh, my hair is being difficult. These earphones are being difficult too. Okay, they're attached. They're attached. You're wonderful. Your eyes met Cove's. His phone was tilted towards you, capturing the call indirectly. You moved your phone closer to his, hoping that the signal was strong enough to convey every nuance of tone. Cove did likewise, bringing his cell phone right next to yours, even bumping against it as he shifted his grip. I feel like that would make the connection worse. At least I feel like there'd be feedback, at least. I don't know what to say. That's the only reason I wouldn't talk to you. If I had the answer, I'd have told you right away. Miranda murmured on the other end of the line. You didn't want to stay. Anything I tried to do bothered you, and you could have just told me you didn't know. Yeah, I think I was angry at myself. I did a dumb thing. I didn't want help with it. I wanted to be mad and just deal with it myself. It made me keep doing dumb things. Oh. When she spoke again, her voice was quiet, as tender and vulnerable as the words. Staying up late, watching stuff was all my fault. I had to find a way to fix it. That's what I thought anyway. But I should have given you space. I'm sorry for being so pushy and sensitive. Hardly. Miranda Eckert having a flaw? I've never heard of such a crazy thing. Miranda let out a ghost of a giggle. Cove cleared his throat. Not them flirting in our face like this. Maybe you should call each other now? Sorry. Can do. Thanks for giving me the kick in the butt to do this already. Randy, Mandy, I'm gonna call you right now. Bye, Princess and Cove. She hung up after squeezing in another quick bye, though not giving you or Cove room to respond in kind. Miranda laughed, the noise tickling gently like a wind chimes in a summer breeze. Oh. Thank you for listening and helping. I'm gonna hang up now so I can answer Terry's call. Bye. 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 Talk soon. Miranda hung up, still chuckling softly as your call ended. The room felt emptier without the other voices in it. Cove expelled a sigh that crashed through the newly fallen silence. He dropped his arms to his sides, letting his head hang down like a puppet at rest. Thank God. Oh, I didn't know you were religious, Cove. They shouldn't have involved us in that. I'm so relieved it's okay. You were simply happy your friends have made up. This day's events have drained you. You were content now that Cove seemed at ease again. I'm drained. I am tired. Cove scratched his face, his expression cloudy. I think I need to find a better way for dealing with conflict because that was awful. We could probably do better than that. I think you did okay given the circumstances. Yeah, I think that would help. You didn't comment. You know, I'm gonna shut my mouth. I don't want to talk about this. Talking required energy you want to conserve after the earlier attention. Cove meekly smiled as he rubbed his eyes, weariness creeping over him, and mumbled his next words. We can talk about it another day. Conflict resolution methods? Huh? Oh, no, forget it. Your eyebrows rose and the light bulb went off in your head, did it? Before Miranda called, didn't you say there was something you'd wanted to say? Cove's original visit had been thrown off kilter that it was a struggle to wind your memory back to when he'd turned up. I think that's supposed to be wind. That's weird. Words are weird. No, you did, though you remembered that he had been perky when he'd arrived this afternoon. Was it good news? Cove brushed his hands against his now folded arms shyly. Well, yeah, maybe. I'm not exactly sure if it counts as news or even good. It just is what it is. I'm happy about it, though. Oh, well, as long as you're happy. You were curious, but you didn't want to push Cove if he didn't want to speak about it. You don't have to say anything, but if it makes you feel good, I think it's good news. Cove chuckled awkwardly, a hand creeping up to ruffle his hair on the back of his head. It's fine. If you want to hear, I can tell you. I mean, you came all the way here. You climbed in through my window. To not tell me anything? Boy, you better spill these beans. He shifted on his feet, as if a different posture might give him the support he needed for the conversation. What's happening? Are you going to propose to me? Is that what it is? I didn't want to make it a big deal. Kind of. Well, not kind of. I just know what my sexuality is now. Oh? Oh? A real subject change, huh? Yeah, sure is. Tell me about it. What's happening? What's going on in that brain of yours? He chuckled. True, it was unexpected, but you were excited that Cove had come to understand himself more, and glad he wanted to share that with you. That's great. Tell me more. Cove drew a breath, straightening up. I'm demisexual. Oh my gosh, me too, actually. I'm demi-romantic pansexual, but at the time, around this age, I did figure out what my sexuality was. And I was demisexual, but now I'm more pansexual, demi-romantic. Anyway, we didn't come here for me. You came here for Cove. So, you know, most of the time, I don't really have those kinds of feelings. Physical ones and stuff. It's only in some situations when I'm already really emotionally and romantically connected to someone. Then I start to ever think about anything sexual, and it's only with them. Interesting. How many other people have you dated before me, Cove? I hadn't heard the term until pretty recently, and it just made a lot of sense once I knew what it meant. I had a word that fit how I felt. And I'm pan-romantic because I never had a preference for a specific gender or anything, so yeah, oh my gosh. Are we the same? Are we the same but opposite? That makes sense. Cove looked down at the floor, being so open and direct about a matter that personal, which you were sure he'd spent a long time trying to figure out, seemed to be kind of weird for him. Despite that, there was a small, proud smile on his face. When he looked up again, his eyes were steadfast. It's really nice to know, have I ever pushed you or made you feel uncomfortable? Does that mean you're thinking sexual things about me? You felt proud of your boyfriend too. You know, I'm proud of you. All this talk of Cove's sexuality made you reflect about your own. I'm glad that you know who you are, what you want, and everything like that. Your feelings on yours hadn't wavered. Your view had evolved since you were younger. It definitely evolved since I was younger. You had physical attraction in a general way. You only seemed to feel physical attraction in specific cases and situations. You didn't really have physical interest in other people. You didn't think you could tell if you had interest in people physically. There was only one person you ever had those feelings for. I have to feel it in specific cases and situations. You had romantic attraction in a general way. I do have a romantic attraction in a general way. Am I? Maybe I am demisexual, and then, hold on. I don't know. Are we the same, Cole? Am I demisexual and panromantic? Maybe, I don't know. Do I feel, I just love romance. I love romance. I had a romantic attraction in a general way. But specifically when it came to how you felt towards men, you found them attractive, especially your boyfriend. You weren't physically, you know what, I find them attractive. I do find them attractive. And how you felt towards women, you found them attractive, you thought you'd be happy to be with a girl someday. You found them attractive, but you hadn't thought about being with a girl. You weren't physically attracted, you weren't physically interested, but you'd be happy to have a romantic relationship with a girl. You weren't interested in girls. Well, I'm with Cove right now, so I do find girls attractive. I have a thing, so you know what, I'm not gonna talk about my thing. Anyway, and how you felt toward NBs, what a way to say things. You found them attractive, you thought you'd be happy with someone non-binary someday. I think they're attractive. You already told Cove your sexuality in the past. You know what, I told him in the past. He knows what's what. He knows what's up. He had always been supportive about the topic, listening actively and supporting you in whatever conclusions you had reached. It was heartwarming that he had reached a point where he felt similarly capable of discussing his own. You felt his tiredness deep in the marrow of your bones. It had been a trying day. It was tiring and it was trying. Now everything was nearly wrapped up for today. At least you had earned a rest. You had some good talks come out of it, not only knowing each other better, but yourself too. We should probably head downstairs soon, if your moms are still wanting everyone to get together. Yeah, that's right. With a renewed spring in your step, you led the way out of your room. You got downstairs to find others already assembled and waiting. Are we playing a board game? I love board games. Hello. Hey, good to see you both. Here we were, trying to corral everyone in a group, but the two of you were already upstairs this whole time. Of course we were together. You paid Princess to stick with me, or did you forget? Oop, tell him I'm open again for these services. The statement was meaningless to your family, who looked to each other for answers in vain. Mr. Holden, who got the message loud and clear, seemed embarrassed. He chuckled nervously, rubbing the back of his neck. Ouch, son. You always know when to remind me of that one. Uh-huh. I can't let you live it down yet. He's never living this down. We're gonna write that on his gravestone if he wants a gravestone. Paid his son's best friend to be his best friend. Can we hear exactly what the secret is? The Smith's killing us. No. I think I'll keep this one to myself. Alright, I better get everyone up to speed. No, don't snitch. He held his hands up, palms out, pacifying his audience, or perhaps holding them up as a shield in advance. The first day I met Princess, I'd been worrying about Cove being alone for that summer. There weren't a lot of kids around, and he wasn't exactly on the best terms with me at all. At that time. Oh my gosh. Not me adding words. Only putting words places they don't belong. He glanced around at your family, gauging their responses. I felt like this was my own one shot, so I kind of offered them $20 to be friends with Cove, and added that they couldn't tell him about it. Liz gasped. Mom was staring incredulously at Mr. Holden, while Mom's eyebrows had retreated to her hairline. What? Oh. You and Cove, already knowing the story, were the only ones unaffected. But after a while, I really did honestly forget it even happened. He raised his hands higher, now level with his shoulders. Not a bad idea, you thought. If Mom felt inclined to throw a cushion at him, he'd probably manage to block it in time. I know it's bad, but I've had so many grand ideas over the years, it's hard to keep track of them all. Cove smiled, placing his hands on his hips, shaking his head at his father's antics. I can't believe you. Though, also, I totally can. Your moms were less indulgent. The shock had ebbed way to displeasure. Oop, oop. Mom's foot was tapping rapidly as she frowned at the next door neighbor, while Ma had her arms crossed over her chest and her lips pursed. I'm sorry, Princess, and I'm sorry to your parents too. That was way out of bounds. I mean, I got $40 out of it, so we're good. Don't worry about it. Everything worked out. Your moms gave each other that look where they seemed to communicate with eyes alone. All right, well, that's that then, and it won't happen again. It definitely won't. No, don't say that. Good. It was a little surprising that they were letting him off the hook, but on the other hand, it was a long time ago, and you were sure your moms remembered those painful early days of Cove's arrival too. Mr. Holden wasn't a potential bad influence anymore, so a lecture would be pretty moot. Instead, your ma gave him a lenient smile. Now that it's settled, why don't we find something to do? Nods of agreement cascaded through the group in a couple waves at the suggestion. Mr. Holden's shoulders slumped with a release of tension. He brought his hands down, tucking them away into his pockets. How about cards? There was a murmur of interest from the others. Oh, Mr. Holden's a card shark. You were keen to play, that was fine with you. You played along with the others. You didn't really play cards. I don't want to play cards. I want to play a board game. You weren't alone in not wanting to participate. Mr. Holden was demurring. I think I'll sit this one out. Where's the fun in that? Join in. We're not too angry with you. Yes, and I know there's a lot of people we can make it work, but we can make it work. Mr. Holden shrunk into himself, embarrassed by their attention. Dad, you love playing cards. We did it at our house all the time. Yeah, remember that time I played over there? Those were serious games. We made bets with real money and everything. Well, I didn't play. I didn't play. Dad? Mr. Holden broke under the combined force of everyone's attention. Cove, you're an adult now. You deserve to know the truth. I used to throw the cards so you could win. Mr. Holden, I put up a good fight, but I always made sure to lose a lot more rounds than I won. He toyed with the end of his ponytail, clearly distressed at the second great secret he was revealing today. He just has so many secrets. Who is Clifford Holden, really? I know people want to be taken seriously, and fake wins don't mean as much, but I couldn't help myself. It's so much better than everyone else. When everyone else got the chance to be victorious, Kyra knew and went along with it. Cove laughed in disbelief that this was the thing his dad stressed about hiding after the stunts he'd pulled over the years. Mr. Holden's wild. So what? Lots of parents do that. I hadn't guessed it, sure. Though looking back, it makes sense now. That's right. What's the big deal, Cliff? You can finally take the kids' gloves off and give them a run for their money. The kid gloves, okay. Maybe even actual money in your case? Mr. Holden smiled coyly, a gaze lowering. I'm not sure it's a good idea. And why not? He waved his hands expansively, the movements fluid and vague. It's just, actually, I am something of a card shark. See, I told you. I used to make lots of fast cash off games. Casual players don't have a shout unless it's a game of pure luck. Cove's jaw hung open, his wide eyes fixed on his father. Really? There was a touch of amazement, even admiration, nestled among the shock. The other members of the Rangel family exchanged looks ranging from Liz's disbelief to Mom's intrigue, with Ma somewhere in the middle between both. The two, oh my gosh. You can't simply make a claim like that and expect us to go along with it. Let's see you back it up, Shark Man. Mr. Holden gave a cricket smile, his demureness quickly being replaced with the confidence of someone very skilled or very misguided. You sure about that? Definitely. We've got to see this so-called non-casual player in action. Well, I might be able, though who knows, maybe I've gotten rusty. The acquaintance continued to rile the gang up, and he was getting a kick out of it now. Come on, please. Alright, I can dust off the old tricks. Great. Cove beamed at his father while Mom clapped Mr. Holden on the back. Liz darted off to get a deck of cards with the rest of you settled in for the game. Hands were dealt. Mr. Holden wasted no time proving his words true, wiping the floor with all of you. You played several rounds, even switching games, but none of you were a match for him. That was how the alliance came to be forged. The rest of you joined forces against Mr. Holden only, just to try to increase the odds of beating him. With your combined efforts, you pulled out a few victories, yet it was still a challenge. He was clearly a professional. Why didn't he just go into the casino world? He could make billions. Millions, billions, trillions. If these were his skills now, rusty with disuse, you couldn't even imagine what a deadly opponent he had been in the past. Despite that, he still had fun. Working cooperatively actually fostered a sense of camaraderie with others. Mr. Holding didn't appear fazed by the strategy. You actually wondered whether the increased challenge made it more interesting for him. You spent the rest of the afternoon together with your family and the Holdens, having fun. It was an interesting evening for sure, with many discoveries for everyone. It was freeing, and yet simultaneously, you felt more tied together than you had been before. Aw, what a cute, sweet moment. Okay, that's where we're ending it, because like I said, I gotta go at 5, and we don't have enough time. But we got through three of the moments today, and I'm so proud of myself for that. So let me switch the scenes. How do I switch the scenes? I switch the scenes here. Hold on, give me a second. I got this. Boom, boom, bam, bing. I've done it. Praise be. Okay, so we're gonna end stream. I want to say thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Tomorrow stream's gonna be a bit different. Tomorrow we're doing Death Bulge at 11, and then around 1:30 I'm gonna get off, and then at 7 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. tomorrow, that's Wednesday, we're gonna be playing Animal Crossing at night, and we're gonna be surrounded by the horrors. The tarantulas are gonna be out, the spiders are gonna be out. It's gonna be sad, but I need to catch these bugs, so I gotta do what I gotta do. So that's the plan for tomorrow. Death Bulge at 11, Animal Crossing at 7. And yeah, that's from in the stream. So again, once again, thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you for lurking. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for the follow, by the way, Angel Silver Song. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm gonna head on out of here. We are gonna raid today. Let me drop the raiding message. If you could ever so lovely paste the raid message. I didn't mean to have caps lock on, but I do. Copy and paste the raid message into Lune's stream for me. I would very much appreciate that, because that's who we're going to be raiding. Unless, are they not on? Did they get off? No, they're on. What? Ugh. Okay. They just want to pretend like Twitch wants to pretend like Lune's not on right now. There they are. Lune's doing art, and we love to see it. Oh, Ray is also there. Okay, well, they're doing art, and we're gonna start the raid. I want to thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a nice rest of your day, week, month, year, and life, and I hope to see you in the next stream. Bye.